Richmond during the week. Carlton have been in the shadow a bit, but they too, as we see it early. Daffy and Nelson, is it?
Yep.
Start of the match, Allen got the tap, didn't really go to Carlton's advantage. Broderick in very hard early and gets the first kick. That's going to please him to half forward. And Richardson's got it. The free kick's coming back, though.
To Broderick, Bruce.
And again, Nelson and Daffy are at it at half forward. Have a look at this.
Cost him $4.5 grand each if they don't stop that.
And that's the energy I was talking about. You can really feel it on the ground.
So Broderick gets a second go here. It's normally a good kick. He goes very wide, and he's got his target. Dragicevic wider still. Richardson's going to get it. No, he's missed it. Well, he had a good chance there. Cooter on Richardson is an interesting matchup. They were both good last week.
It is, they were, but this was a fantastic kick actually from Dragicevic because he just sat it out in front where Richardson could attack the ball. He really should have taken it. And a bit of physical pressure applied by Nick Daffy there at the centre square.
Manton goes against Holland. No free kick for the Tigers. They wanted one. They might have been a bit stiff. Franchina at half-back now. He doesn't mess around. He kicks the ball as long as he can. To centre wing. Burke's spoil on Beaumont was good. Bowden's handball okay. Broderick getting a fair bit of it. To Burke. Burke goes wide to half forward.
Oh, gee, it was a great hand pass by Paul Broderick. Now the chances for the Tigers. The kick going forward was by Sampson, and he misses just to the left-hand side. So the first score to Richmond, kicked by Clay Sampson, are behind. Dipper.
Yeah, for Carlton, we've got Hickmont, Lappin, Christer and Culpert on the bench.
Well, that was what the Blues nominated on their team sheet that was delivered to us before the game started. The kick in goes very long. Underneath that, Hamill couldn't take the mark. Combination of hand passes. Camporelli, good pressure. Bowden not able to break away. Tackled well by Hume. Still got the football, and they've locked him up, haven't they? His left arm just absolutely motionless there. He couldn't get the hand pass away. The umpire giving him the benefit of any doubt, and it will be bounced between centre and centre-half forward. Beautiful day here in Melbourne. The minimum expected, 13, but quite warm at the moment. Nelson to Camporelli. Camporelli's quick kick towards half forward. Well done, Beaumont. Got rid of Burke. Beaumont's little kick into the pocket, good as well. Silvani is marked. Deep in the left forward pocket, Stephen Silvani, 3 goals, 5 last week. Probably could have kicked 8. Shooting from about 30 metres. Kicks for goal, right to the line. Whitnell over his head and through for one behind.
I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, Robert. He didn't take much time with the shot at all.
The bench for the Tigers, Dipper.
Bruce, we have Ottens, Blurton, Tawney and Ben Hollands.
So Otten's on the bench, Christo on the bench for the Blues. Turner to bring her back in. Silvani's kicked 8-11 so far this year. He's certainly winning the ball. You reckon he's not far away from a bag one night. Turner gets it outside 50. It's low. Whitnell pushed out of it. Gale. Gasper's got the job on Whitnell. That's going to be a pivotal duel tonight. Gaster's handball. Releases Broderick. 4th possession. Probing kick to centre half forward. Richardson. Koutafidis. Richardson going to get the handball. Knights could be on the end of it. He's been hassled by Bradley. They run him to the line. It'll be a boundary throw in left forward pocket. Some good footy by Cooter in the end to back Bradley up. And the Tigers are deep in attack. 2 great ones here, Knights and Bradley together.
Yeah, and he's just a little bit unlucky, Matthew Richardson. If he had have jigged the other way, I think he would have found clear space, but he went back into an opponent.
Holland front spot on Manton. He's got a bit of a height advantage. Bradley and Knights. Camporelli good. To Ratton. Ratton wide. It should be safe. No, it's not. It had more on it than I thought. And it'll be a Tiger kick. Gasper's going to give it up to Richardson. Or maybe Gasper will take it himself. No, back to Richardson. The kick 5 against the Blues the last time they played. Platt, he too kicked 5 in that same game. Knights terrific. Dragicevic, the tackle on him was excellent. Off the ground by Ratton was good. That tackle came from Hume. Only as far as Burke. Blazes to the goal square. Bouncing ball. It's close. Manton. No, Franchina. No, Manton it was. Pushes it through for a behind.
Well, again, the matches involving the Blues this year, they just haven't been shootouts by any stretch of the imagination. Carlton's highest goal tally has been 19 against Fremantle. On the other hand, Richmond have got 86 goals total, and their highest tally was 22 in round 4. Daffy, a quick kick high in the air. Bowden, hand pass. McKay leaves it for Hume. Hume across his body. Not too bad, actually, for White. just slipping out of Adam White's hands there, and it will be thrown in left half-forward flank for the Tigers. Not a bad crowd. No reserves match here tonight. It was played at Optus Oval, I believe, and Richmond won by 3 goals. Richardson doing the ruck work. Gets it to the back. Bradley gathers, shrugs the tackle, kicks over his left shoulder, back near the wing. A contest here. The ball comes free. Gasper again, looking to run on. Bumped off the football. Hamill, well done. Chance now too high, that tackle on Camporelli, and he'll take the free kick. Not quite up towards the wing. He's probably still closer to half-back. The kick will go in towards the middle of the ground. White in front. Punched away by Tivendale. Chance here for Sexton. Looks as though he may be playing up the ground. The kick in towards the half-forward line. Beaumont. Silvani, Burke out of the way. Well done. Silvani gets it from Beaumont. Back goes Silvani again, but taps it to the advantage of the opposition. Burke gathers at half-back, and the Tigers are away.
Good kick round the body to Daffy. Daffy's handball okay to Dragicevic. The Tigers go forward. Plack on the end of it. He's got good strong hands in front.
He actually was awarded a Brownlow medal vote the last time these two sides met, Bruce.
Keeps it low, not a good kick. Manton front spot. Holland is a play on. It is. Holland, little gift to Knights. Knights left footer. Clever kick to the front of the square. Richardson and Mackay. Mackay did very well there to build it to the line. And it's a boundary throw-in.
Why doesn't Manton get paid?
I have no idea. It's a mark or a free kick, one of the two, surely.
Well, he certainly didn't control the mark, and if the hands were spoilt rather than the ball, then he should get the free kick in that situation.
Tigers deep in attack. Holland and Manton. He's giving away a bit here, Manton, so he's got to be careful not to get that free kick away. Down towards Knights. Bradley. Bradley belts it to the line. Now, this is interesting. Well, was he trying to get a point, John?
Well, I reckon he was, Bruce. I think he was trying to punch it through from behind, and the umpire's instruction...
So, John, is it the intention or the result that counts here?
It's the intention that has to be penalised. The umpire has to be satisfied that Craig Bradley's sole intention was to knock the ball out of bounds.
Well, he would have gone sideways if that was the case, not back towards the goal.
There's the angle for Knights.
I reckon you hit the nail right on the head, Bruce. I think Braddles was trying to hit it through from behind, and he's paid an unfair price.
Knights in short. Good kick to Bowden, wasn't it?
That was very clever, the way the Richmond forward line opened up that space about 30-35 metres out directly in front. Gave a number of players the opportunity to run into it. Richardson also leading back there. A little bit of loose marking too.
Jeff Geeshan is a guest on Talking Footy on Monday night. I reckon that might come up, that incident with Bradley going to the line. He looked as if he was going for the behinds, and now the Tigers surely should go. Right behind Bowden, straight through. Well, I reckon they're lucky, but Knights was clever enough, and Bowden's taken the mark and kicked the goal.
And we all know how well Matthew Knights can use the ball. He was in a virtually an impossible position unless he was going to kick a check side for goal. He just hung onto it long enough. He let the Richmond forward line open up the space out in front of goal. As we see Craig Bradley now, gee, that's far too close to the point post to be aiming for the boundary. But just good patience on Matthew Knights' part. Spotted the loose player. Not perhaps the one he was intending to hit, but a goal nevertheless.
So Joel Bowden, the goal kicker in the match so far. The Richmond lead 1-2 to a point. Gale taken by Hume. Umpire Brian Sheehan will bounce. Now umpires for this evening's match: Peter Carey, Brian Sheehan and Troy Burton. Know a lot about two of them, John. Maybe you'd like to elaborate on Troy Burton when we get a chance. The ball in the middle of the ground. Darren Hume underneath there, and he feeds it out. Tigers off the ground. Out wider still. Battle between Franchina and Campbell. Duncan Callaway's handball terrific. Daffy not quite reaching his target. Mackay not bad. Could see that he was going to have difficulty in grabbing the ball down there at ground level. Little toe poke in front of himself found the safety of the boundary line. Troy Burton, much footy, John, as an umpire?
South Australian bloke. He's been around a couple of years now, Robbo, but not a lot of senior games.
Thanks. Kick there by Daffy, left foot. Mackay, just maybe a little stronger there, Sampson, and got the front posse and is rewarded with a free kick.
And when the tackle propels forward as obviously as that one does, Robbo, or did, I think it's reasonable that Mackay be rewarded with the free. We see him get the front spot and then just get buried by the tackler.
On top of him. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Wouldn't mind if that was consistent all night either. The hand pass by Campbell finds Knights. Knights, a bit of an up and under. And a good mark. Terrific mark taken by Andrew Callaway. He's right down towards half forward. Richmond fans right in front of them there. this incident, and they're screaming maybe for a penalty, but Callaway having to go back and kick over the man on the mark. A little hesitant. Now he decides to bomb away to within scoring distance for the Tigers. Punched away. Knights gives it away. He's not too good on the right, but this bloke's pretty good on the right. Nick Daffy posts the Tigers second.
That's just a fantastic piece of play from Matthew Knights. He was on his wrong foot. He knows how to use the ball by hand or foot. He found Nick Daffy, a proven goal kicker, just lurking out in a bit of space directly in front of goal, and he doesn't miss those.
Yeah, Jace, just to have the vision to see Daffy where, I mean, it's actually to the away from goal direction from Matthew Knight, so fantastic presence of mind to spot Nick Daffy out there at centre-half.
And most players in that spot in front of goal normally throw it on the boot very quickly. He just had the time to sum up the best option in that situation and result in the Richmond goal.
Already 5 possessions to Matthew Knights.
He's away to a flyer, isn't he? And Daffy too getting involved. 14-1, so the Tigers off to a good start. We highlighted at the start of the match that they've been very good in the first quarters this season.
Gee, I'll tell you what, they really wanted to get Scott Camporelli there. 3 of them.
It's a couple of times they've got into him, and I think
he's a targeted
with a sore
player.
hand, they've really put it on him.
Kick to Silvani. He's always a good kick, Camporelli. Turner worked him under pretty well, actually. Turner back in, one of 5 changes for the Tigers tonight, and a couple of blokes playing their first games at this level for the season. Tivendale read it best. Quickly kick to space. Dragosevic and also Franchina. He had to take it cleanly. Now he's under the gun. Richardson did well to run him down. Hume went to ground. This is danger. Sampson from 35 metres out kicks a goal.
And isn't it great to see all the Tigers players running over to Matthew Richardson? He just put a fantastic chase on there, put the pressure on, caused the turnover. The handball came back into open territory, should have gone towards the boundary line, jumped on by Sampson, and he finished it off beautifully. Look at the chase from Richardson.
2 basic
Just
mistakes here.
reached out.
Franchina's fumble and Hume falling over.
And maybe Franchina should have left off Manton, who was going the right way.
Yeah.
But they paid for it. They certainly did. Gee, the Tigers are switched on here, aren't they?
Good start by Richmond. They've kicked 3. Well, you'd reckon his team was trailing by 3, but Jeff Geeshan's Tigers lead by 3. They're 3-2 to a behind. Matthew Richardson doing some good in and under work. Brown not able to break away. Still got control of the footy. Tackled by Duncan Callaway. Was very efficient. White knocked off the football by Tivendale. Able to get it back. Hand pass in towards the middle of the ground. Nelson's left foot kick. Very scrambly. Hamill gathers. Camporelli in towards the full forward area. Whitnell is marked in front of Gaspar. Should convert here. Kicks the ball to the front of the goals. It's going to drop short. And a good mark taken by Brendan Gale. He could see the opponent coming from behind, but he stood his ground and he's marked about 15 metres from the Carlton goal. Kicks it well outside the defensive 50. Allen up over the top. Bradley's handball to no one in particular, but Brown was there. Brown's little kick is good, and Beaumont 50 metres from goal is marked in front of David Burke. Just got a little bit of space there, Simon Beaumont. He's not a bad kick for length. He goes short, looks for Silvani. Too high. The ball spills to Hamill. Tries to knock it to the clearance in the forward pocket area. Then applies the tackle on Joel Bowden. Forces a boundary throw in left forward pocket for the Blues.
Some great work from Brendan Gale back there. He got caught on the matchup, one out with Silvani, which is not ideal for Richmond, but he was good enough to put the pressure on, harass Silvani and not give away the free kick.
Boundary throw in. Daffy puts the tackle on. Ratton kept his head down as he so often does. Beaumont, that's a poor kick. He was on his wrong side, admittedly. Here's a chance. Ratton, little left footer. No, didn't have the legs. And Turner had the wherewithal to actually throw himself at it and save 5 points from Richmond's point of view.
Well, you'd back Brett Ratton most times from that angle. He actually had the accuracy, he just didn't have the height on the kick, and a full stretch dive from Scott Turner.
Campbell to bring it in. So Carlton are really struggling up forward. They've only kicked 9 and 7 goals respectively in the last 2 weeks, and they haven't managed a goal in a quarter of an hour footy so far tonight. And the forward line just doesn't look right, does it, at the moment?
No, although, look, Steve Silvani's moved around very well. He's had 1 shot a goal already. They need to give him as much space as possible, but get it down there quickly.
Well, they haven't had as much as the Tigers. There's no question about that. Whitnell's going to have a big match. Silvani's going to need to kick goals, and they're going to have to get something from their midfield from goals.
Bruce, there's absolutely no space here on the ground. Every Richmond player is making sure they pick up their man. It certainly is accountable football. It's just terrific football at the moment.
Thanks, Dipper. Bruce, already Richmond have been inside their forward 59 times against Carlton's 3. That was at the 15-minute mark of this first quarter. So the Blues really struggling, and some desperation there by Duncan Callaway. Kicked by Whitnell, missed Allen, gathered by Bowden. Bowden's left foot kick, good distance, and Matthew Knights is underneath it. Coming up for possession number 6. It's effective as well. Finds Callaway, that's Andrew Callaway. His kick in towards centre half forward. Marking contest, 3 Blues went up for it. Nelson back to Sexton. Sexton's little kick is all right and finds Whitnell. Well, he's a key forward and he's gathered a possession at right half back. Kicks towards a wing, and from behind Andrew Callaway, Hamill has marked for the Blues. He's still on centre wing, Members side. Kick into the pocket, deep into the pocket. By gee, you're not going too good when you've got to get kicks always deep in pockets. And it was Matthew Allen on that occasion leading into that area. And we saw Hamill from behind Andrew Callaway there, marking on centre wing. The boundary throw in, right half forward for Carlton. They're still goalless. The term is well and truly past the halfway mark. Knights again,
good
7
hands.
possessions. Broderick, that was a good one too. Gasper to the path of Knights. Standing his ground there was Nelson. Hamill, Knights the tackler. Ball will be thrown in the air on centre wing. The Blues making a change. Hume off the ground and Lappin into the fray.
Who can kick a goal, and perhaps that's what they're looking for. Maybe a crummer around Silvani. Can also be a high fly. David Parkin, celebrated coach, 4 premierships at 2 different clubs. Gale wins it. Ratton, quick hands. Bradley was good enough. Was well done. Loves to run with it and goes long. It's a neat looking kick, isn't it? Silvani couldn't quite get to the contest. That's a mark. You're right, Jason. He fisted it away, and then
the 50 will be paid, it looks like, for Steve Silvani, putting him on the ground after he'd taken the mark. Steve obviously not sure that Burke had in fact been the player to punch the ball, so thought it would be playing. We see again here in replay where Burke actually punches the ball and then follows it and takes it on the chest the second time, and Steve Silvani not aware that it was a mark and takes him to the ground, so penalised with the 50-metre penalty.
Burke very wide, looking for Platt. Manton with him is Nelson, but he didn't really get in there to help him out. And there's a little free kick going here, and that's 50. Holding him 50 for kicking it away.
Just
that's
held
right,
his jumper as he tried to play it in front of himself, Manton there.
Now the umpire has to be convinced that when the ball is kicked away, they're aware that the free kick has been given against the Tigers, and that's a long bow to draw, but nevertheless that's obviously what the umpire has concluded, because that's the only basis he could have awarded the 50.
It looked as if it was in the rhythm of play, didn't it? Whitnell forced underneath it. He might be a bit stiff. Anyway, there's footy to be played. Bowden gets it from Burke. Bowden neatly to Richardson. Gee, that's good, isn't it? But he couldn't quite mark it, and then went to ground, and Kuta held his ground. Knights applied an effective tackle. Tigers have got some numbers here. Bowden, again a neat kick for the second time in about a minute. Holding his ground well, Callaway. Then he handled the space. Richardson has got back quickly. Right, too slow. Free kick to Richardson. High tackle, was it?
Yeah, paid for high, Bruce. Now, Richo actually dived on the ball, and so in a sense he contributed or caused to the high contact. So that is an incorrect free kick. If Richo dives on the ball like that, leading with his head, then he's fair game.
Yeah, you're probably right, John, but I just think fortune favours the brave. It was a courageous move to attack the ball.
But you don't pay free kicks for bravery.
I realise that. He took the bit between the teeth and he got rewarded at the end.
Well, just to emphasise the umpire's instruction, if Richo causes or contributes to the high contact, he doesn't get the free kick, and he did in that case.
Let's see if he can finish off with a goal. He had a great match last week in a losing side against the Bombers. He's 45 metres out. It's coming back nicely. He likes it. He's an interesting footballer. He averages 3 goals every time he plays, and over 100 games. Rice is really livid here, but he's a pretty good footballer, this bloke Richardson, isn't he?
Well, he certainly is. I mean, he gives you the impression he could kick every time he comes out and play. Now, whether or not it's a free kick, John, I just like the fact that Matthew Richardson was the only one really attacking the ball. And at the end of the day, he's the one that's come up with the kick and kicked the goal, and good on him.
Well, my answer to that is Dean Rice did nothing wrong.
No. Maybe
Matthew Richardson, the goal kicker. Go, Jace.
Maybe just a matter of Richard being a little bit more desperate in that occasion, and that was the difference.
Well, while that was happening, while Matthew Richardson was kicking the goal, Brendan Gale has come off the ground, and Ottens, who got the ball out to Dragicevic, is onto the field. His kick goes in towards the forward pocket area. Richardson out wide. Platt. Good kick for distance. No accuracy whatsoever. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Blues. Still goalless in the first quarter. Carlton.
Yeah, Brendan Gale just come back from injury, obviously played his first game last week. Came off Puffin, who's obviously worked very hard in the first 15 minutes, Robbo.
Thanks, Dipper. Manton kicks the ball outside his defensive 50. Sexton up high, unopposed, marks on his chest. Then away to Bradley, looking to get some movement through that half-back centre. And Rice finishes up kicking it in the direction there of Whitnell and Gaspar. McKay over to Whitnell, tries to get away, but he was well tackled, wasn't he? Just locked him up, forced him to hand pass. Beaumont, look at McKay. McKay's run from the half-back line. Go for goal, Andrew McKay. This will be a team-lifting kick. It comes back and kicks a goal. Great kick by Andrew McKay.
There's a bit of a press conference
It's a
going
goal.
on, Robbo.
It's a goal. Don't worry about that. It's got through the big sticks. By gee, it's tiring work when they take all that time to get a goal. We've got 6.5 minutes left in the first term. Carlton get there first through one of their very, very reliable defenders, Andrew McKay.
And Robbo, every reason to get excited by a defender who runs right down the ground from half back to half forward, then kicks a good goal on the run. He just kept following it up. The ball got shuffled forward. And from our angle, it looked like it was going to hit the goalpost all the way, and it just came back in the end. I think that's what they were worried about. And he's pretty excited. That's got Carlton going, and maybe they can get back into it in the first quarter.
I think the other thing too, he delivered the hand pass, fell over, got quickly to his feet and went up, kicked the goal. Brown goes forward now for the Blues. They're into the contest. It's livened up a little bit after being all Richmond in the first 15 or 16 minutes. Free kick to the Tigers to be taken by Andrew Callaway. He's between fullback and centre halfback. Goes in short. Gaspar, can he gather the awkward ball? Tackle applied by Lappin. Tivendale gathers. No, free kick.
Penalised for a throw, Robbo.
Penalised, so the ball with the Blues. Lappin will go forward. Hand passes wide. Silvani from 50 metres. He's got to go long. He kicks right to the goal line. It bounces to the back. It still hasn't gone over the line. Gathered by Bowden. And Bowden a chance to kick Richmond away from their full-back line.
Burke, the target, spectacular mark. Took off early and held his ground. He and Beaumont having a good duel early. Beaumont's had a bit of it as well. Burke's kicked the centre wing. Richardson's had a bit of a cooter so far. Ratton comes across and courageously
hurt himself
here. I think he's going to get a free kick. Yeah, there's some contact here.
Might be the hip.
I think Matthew Richardson was just trying to kick the ball out of the air here, and he might have...
Here's a mark of Burke's.
Caught Ratton on the hip.
So Ratton's going to get a free kick.
Well, there's a lull, Bruce. The black armbands the Tigers are wearing is in recognition of Alan McDonald, who passed away during the week, a player and coach in the late 50s and early 60s.
Thanks, Robbo. Oh, big fly, good mark. Otten's just on the ground. Interesting to see him start on the interchange. He's been a very good player in the early part of this season for the Tigers. Running Gale and Otten's off the bench at the moment. He's actually been a key forward as well as a ruckman. Short to Gaspar. Gaspar's got it at half-back. There's nobody behind Gaspar now in the Richmond defence. So there's a lot of players in a small space here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Free kick to Richo. Grabbed in that marking contest. Had no chance of going for the ball. Just tackled in the contest by Cooter, and the free kick given.
It's his third or fourth free kick in the opening term for Richo. As he kicks to full forward, Holland couldn't quite get there. Allen got back, couldn't hold the mark. Good tackle on Knights by Allen, and the Blues hold it up. And it'll be a bounce up about 35, 40 metres from Richmond's goal. Knights terrific early. Bradley now getting a bit of it. Allen's tackle effective.
Yeah, Sylvain's gone back to full forward here, and Turner's in the goal square, all by himself.
Thanks, Dipper. Yes, Turner's gone right down to the goal square. Now Manton's gone to pick him up. Tigers go forward. Now Turner's going to get involved here. Though Camporelli first there. He's a quick player, Camporelli. Kicks towards the line. Broderick, who started quickly. Well, he should have got a free kick then.
Yeah, Paul Broderick had the presence of mind not to take possession of the footy and was tackled. So one would have thought that should have been... We see Broderick here tap the ball away, not take possession of it, is tackled, and nevertheless Adam White not penalised for holding the man.
Allen front spot. Otten's climbing all over the top of him. Kellaway, Brown fell over the top of him and will give away a free kick. So the Tigers to go forward again.
Duncan Callaway doing a pretty good job there on Fraser Brown. Just 2 kicks to Brown so far in the game. Callaway's kick into the middle, gathered by Turner, running from fullback. Tries to get a big bomb away, slipped off the side of his boot. Oh, Richardson got rid of Koutafidis and took what looked to be a pretty simple mark in the finish on his chest within 30 metres.
Yeah, luck's a fortune. It wasn't the spot that the kick was intended to go to, but it actually ended up being on the side of the contest that really favoured Richardson. He just used his strength there to hold his ground. At the last minute, he pushed off Anthony Koutafidis and took what looked to be a relatively simple chest mark, and now lines up for his second goal.
So, the enigmatic Matthew Richardson, lots of ability on this occasion. Well, I think it's what Tiger supporters are disappointed about.
Just
Matthew,
he's
he's a very good player, Jason, but in circumstances like that, the modern-day AFL footballer really has to convert, doesn't he?
You should kick at least 8 or 9 out of 10 of those, if not 9 or 10 out of 10.
Ratting off the ground, boys. Obviously, he hurt his hip in the last collision down there. They're icing it up, and it'd be difficult to see if he come back on the ground, I think.
1 goal, 1 to Matthew Richardson. Kick forward again by the Tigers, but gathered by McKay. Look at this rebound footy. There's a real chance here. Beaumont should have marked it. Fell over. Did everything wrong there, Simon Beaumont. Into the middle, Sexton. Tackled there by Tivendale. Ball spills away. In underneath that is Rogers. Ball kicked away down towards the half-forward line for the Tigers. Matthew Knights. Bradley was good. Bob Broderick, vision again. Out wide. Dragicevic leaves it for Daffy. Loves the situation. A goal-scoring opportunity on the run. Oh, Holland. Has he been paid the mark? Didn't control it, according to the umpire. Throw it in, boundary umpire, says Peter Carey. Holland disappointed. The Blues bench, Ratton.
Almost looked as though he's grabbed by Glenn Manton, grabbed on the left side, but Glenn Manton half expected.
Making a goal anyway, John. No, he hasn't. It crossed the face, and it's a boundary throw-in. Go on, John. Sorry.
Yeah, Bruce. I think Glenn Manton actually expected to give away a free kick to Holland then, and was a bit surprised when it wasn't paid.
27-8. Tigers have controlled most of the first quarter. Blues had loved one before quarter time. Blurton on the ground, held up by Rice. I don't know what chance he had. Camperelli's kick, bang. Gasper over the top. Knights, Bradley. Knights can't get away from him. They've had a very interesting duel. Camperelli's had a good return to footy. He's our newsmaker with Mark Doran tonight. Inside to Hume. Hume's kick is neat to Allen. Allen quickly on. But the Blues get a late one here. Pops it up. Beaumont and Burt. Beaumont almost. Burt goes to ground. The Blues have got numbers. Little handball to White. Yes, Silvani's on his own. White's going to kick it to him now. Got him.
I think it was Lappin actually that kicked it down there, Bruce.
Got him. Yep, Lappin.
Now, Bruce, I think you said he's kicked 8-11. This is a crucial kick now. He must convert here. They need this to get back in the game.
Very skillfully done there by Lappin too. He could have bombed away, but got out into the clear and spotted Stephen Silvani.
Just took a wrong punt, Scotty Turner. He left Silvani to go to the contest, and he didn't get there in time. You've got to make sure you get there if you leave your man.
Silvani, 20 metres out. They like it. So does he's got it. Closing a bit here. This has been a nice patch, hasn't it, for the Blues? It could have been a disaster at quarter time, and now they close the gap.
And I think Steve Silvani will be a little bit relieved after that kick. He just, as we said, Scotty Turner decided to take the initiative. He left his man to go to the contest, and if you do that, you must make sure you at least hold up the ball if you don't get possession of it. And Silvani, unattended, took the mark and kicked the goal.
Well, Richmond had kicked 4 goals in the first 19 minutes of this quarter. The Blues have kicked the next 2 to make the scoreboard look a little more even than it was. It was lopsided, wasn't it? 4 goals to nothing. Lappin can't quite control it. Then the hand pass not quite good enough, was it? Bowden, left foot kick, goes towards the half-forward line. Good mark by Dean Rice. An honest servant, Dean Rice, since crossing from St Kilda. Good mark, Lappin. Probably judged it a little better than Tivendale. Tivendale up high early, but Lappin marking. Kicks into the middle. Good vision. Finds Hickmott off the bench. Left foot kick by that player. Goes very wide. Allen running onto it. Can't break away from Ottens though. Trying to do just that. Handball to McKay. Not quite the right option. McKay in front. Ottens spills to Sampson. Very skillfully done. Dragicevic. Mark Dragicevic now for the Tigers. Inside their forward 50. Look at that oval ball. It's deceived everyone except Matthew Richardson. He's pinged a goal and he's got it. You take the front posse, Jason, and the damn oval ball will bounce over your blasted head.
Yeah, you can't do much more than play in front of your man. That's what Koutafidis did. He held front spot. The ball took an innocuous bounce and went right over the back. And it was an interesting option from Richardson. You'd normally say there, well, he'd back himself to run in because no one's going to catch him with his athleticism. But he decided to have the shot for goal, and I think he'd be pretty happy that it went through in the end.
It's been good, hasn't he? Deep into this first quarter. Kouta's got a big job on his hands tonight.
It's going to be a great battle, that.
So the Tigers skip away again. 5-2 they lead. It's a handy break early. Allen, well done. Brown almost to Nelson. Camporelli decides to go long. He had Hickmott released, but decided to go in the Silvani direction. Burke belts away. Silvani, he's going to kick his second. He's got it. Terrific finish to the corner. Well, maybe luck's a fortune at both ends a bit, but good on them. The Blues come back.
And if there's one thing that coaches hate, it's conceding goals in the last minute of a quarter. Now, we've seen one basically at both ends. Gee, they just didn't punch it the right way, did he? You've got to go to the boundary. You can't hit it back into contested play, particularly in front of goals. And that's what normally happens. If you're going to punch towards goals, you have to get the ball cleanly and make sure it does go through. But that's just hitting it right back into the danger zone.
David Burke probably would have been hoping like blazes that Stephen Silvani fell over in his chase for that ball.
So he's got a couple, Silvani, and the Blues close it again. Tigers are going to lead at quarter time, but we've got a real contest here, as we thought we would. It's 5-3 to 3-2. Crowd has built a bit since the start of the match, over 45, maybe getting towards 50,000 people. Brown, a couple of possessions in the centre square have been important. Remember, Ratton is injured, and Dipper, that's going to be important to us after quarter time, his status. So at quarter time, well, the Tigers, 7 times they've been to the footy this year, and on 6 occasions they have led at this point of the match, but they've only won 2. So again they lead at quarter time, but Carlton got 3 of the last 4 goals in that opening quarter and have closed up. Richardson and Silvani are the men who've got the goals. Knights was terrific early. Bradley then started to peg him back towards the end of the quarter. And at quarter time it's the Blues 3-2 and Richmond are 5-3. A couple in front, and they'd love to stay there by half-time. Their second quarters have been poor this year. 20 plays 33. Let's watch and see what happens in the centre square. Allen, Gale, not much there, no advantage really. Campbell, who didn't have a kick in the opening term, he gives it up to Beaumont. Camporelli's had plenty of the footy, high and long. Silvani, as he often does, couldn't quite. Kellaway, gee, used his body well, Silvani, but he couldn't quite get to the contest in the end. Gasper's in trouble. He gets back to Tivendale. Tivendale squeezes it. Good mark, I reckon, or free kick to Kellaway.
Free kick paid, Bruce.
That's Andrew Kellaway.
Clearly a push in the back by Scott Camporelli, so
yep, Andrew Kellaway gets it to centre wing. David Burke, she's a high flyer to Broderick, very good in the first 5 minutes of the opening term. Penetrating kick to half forward. Koutafidis and also Richardson McKay, who kicked a spectacular goal in the first quarter. Really got them going, the Blues. And who's on the bench for the Blues?
In fact, Bruce, you caught me up there now. Hume, White, Christou and Colpitt.
So no Christou, that's interesting, sitting it out. We talked about him at the start of the match and his performances so far. Camporelli releases Brown at centre wing.
Fraser Brown, one of the ball getters that we spoke about in the marquee matchups. Hamill put him under enormous pressure. Matthew Knights locked him up. The umpire has decided on a bounce.
The Blues probably lucky to get away with a bounce there. Fraser Brown just hung onto the ball a little bit too long. He wasn't quite sure which option to go with. Normally the first option is the best one. And by the time he finally handballed the ball, the Richmond players had manned up.
A lot of instinctiveness about modern day AFL football, Jason, isn't there? Players just got to be aware of where they are when they've got the footy and where their teammates are. Centre wing, right in front of the Great Southern Stand here. Pretty good night for football, a little bit of breeze blowing. Looks as though it may be blowing down to the main scoreboard end, but we've come to expect not much of an advantage to either end here. Swirling breeze prevailing. Broderick, ineffective kick, slews right off the side of his boot out on the full. So the Blues, if they can get maybe a result of this foray forward through Ratton, will certainly tighten up the scoreboard. The kick into the pocket, good mark by Whitnall in front of Gaspar. Just a youngster, Lance Whitnall, and he's carrying the burden of the forward line on his shoulders, helped out at this moment by Stephen Silvani. Sexton's down there trying to get the ball clear. Hickmott working, so was Hamill, and the umpire will bounce about 25 metres from the Carlton goal.
Robert, there's an interesting matchup. There's a mark of Whitnall. Sexton's actually playing on Dragosevic at the moment, which is a fairly interesting matchup. A bit lopsided height-wise.
Certainly is, because Michael Sexton, well over 6 feet. Dragosevic, just a youngster, certainly under the 6 foot mark. The hand pass goes out towards the wing. Campbell hasn't kicked the ball yet, Wayne Campbell. He's had one possession, and that was a hand pass. Sexton and Mark Dragosevic. 33 plays 20, Richmond lead early in the second term. Stephen Silvani, 2 goals for the Blues. Matthew Richardson, 2 goals for Richmond. The ball spills through to Tivendale. He's tackled by Franchina. Now the chances with Beaumont. Back he goes to Camporelli. Footwork magnificent by Scott Camporelli. Kicks towards full foot. Silvani couldn't take the mark. Can't break away. Hickmott's there. Hickmott, he's off the bench and he's kicked the goal. Hard work, Silvani. So the Blues have kicked the first goal of the second term. Lock it up. It's a 7-point advantage to the Tigers.
It's great to see Adrian Hickmott back. He's had a lot of problems with injury. He's looked very good since the first time he came on. Just knows how to get on the end of the ball, and in this case, the ball just spilled free. A clean pickup, threw it on the left boot. Good awareness of the goals, and the Blues are right back in this match.
Silvani took a couple with him, didn't he? And Hickmott able to get in and kick the goal. Played in a couple of losing grand finals at Geelong. And as Jason said, it's terrific to see him back because he's had a lot of injury problems. Brown pushes forward. Kellaway, Bowden sweeps the handball. Rogers has been pretty quiet early. Onto it now. Left foot goes for distance to centre half forward. Holland couldn't get a run at it. Richardson stayed down and Koutafidis gets his first possession. It's a terrible one. Doesn't get it to his man at all. Sampson able to cut it off and then squeeze it back to Platt. Platt's at about 60 metres. We talked about his good game against the Blues last year. 5 goals and a Brownlow vote. Holland leads. He goes to Bowden, concedes a bit of ground, straightens the angle. Bowden, he's 90 metres, I guess, from goal. Long, long way out. Take a good kick to get it within any sort of range.
Just no space in the Richmond forward line. They've held onto it too long.
Really, only Silvani and Turner are behind him at the moment. Kicks very wide and able to make a contest there at the back was Sexton in the pocket. Bradley, still Bradley, that's clever. Gets it to Brown. Brown holds it up to Mackay. Hands and knees. Probably didn't affect the mark, but he was okay to Lappin. Lappin at half back. Takes his time, delivers neatly. Hickmott having an impact. Held up by Tawney. Back to Lappin. Lappin on his left foot. Kicks the ball, not a good kick actually, because the Tigers had the numbers all the way. Lappin getting no penetration, and Gale able to take the mark at half back.
Yeah, just flirting a bit there. Could have probably got back onto his right foot, Matthew Lappin, and the kick dropping short. That kick by the Tigers, Brendan Gale going out to a 2-on-1 favouring the Blues, and they have forced a boundary throw in. Dipper.
You mentioned the match-up before about Dragosevic. Oh no, he's back on the ground. No, Dragosevic on the bench now, and Tawney on the ground now for that match-up against Sexton.
Thanks, Dick.
Brown underneath that. Duncan, Kellaway and Ratton. Have a look at the workers there. Brown, Duncan, Kellaway and Ratton. You'd employ them anywhere.
Ben Hollands and Camporelli off the monitor there. They're into it. Ben Hollands just coming onto the ground.
Yeah, Bruce, Matthew Rogers has been giving him heaps for a quarter and a half, and now they've swapped it over. They're really getting into him. 12
possessions for Camporelli. Franchina doing a good job on Campbell. Ball spills to Daffy. Quickly, Daffy onto his right boot. Kicks in the direction of Matthew Richardson. Back goes Koutafidis, slips over. Tackle affected there by Holland. Sampson gathers the awkward ball, goes for goal. Oh no, it's a short kick, and it's found Richardson.
Gee, could have looked like he got caught over the ball there for a long time. It eventually spilled out. I thought the free kick would be paid against him, but as soon as you see your opponent in that sort of situation, Matthew Richardson just decided to duck off, find a bit of space, and in the end, the short kick came to him.
Well, you can see there that the angle is very tight for Matthew Richardson. Right foot up against the boundary line, goes for the screw punt kick, and not all that successful. Did come back, but nowhere near as much as he was desiring there. So a behind kick by Matthew Richardson. 2 goals 2 against his name. The opposition full forward, Stephen Silvani, 2 goals 1.
Just a Richmond bench, Robbo. We've got Matthew Rogers, Brad Ottens, Mark Drazovicki and also Ashley Burton.
Good kick by Bradley. Manton ran on, certainly played on, forced to kick quickly, out towards the boundary line. Beaumont and David Burt. No free kick there. Umpire Brian Sheehan just off to the left, signalling to the boundary umpire to throw it in. Always a keen contest between the Tigers and the Blues, and their fans always stream into the ground. Very loyal, both the Richmond fans and the Blues fans. The kick forward, Knights. Good hand pass to Hollands. That's Ben Hollands as distinct from Ben Holland. And up on the full forward line, Richardson and Koutafidis. Now Koutafidis advantaged here by the bouncing ball. Dean Rice out wide. Sexton on the end of it. Sexton's kick goes in the direction of Lappin. He's taken the mark, looking to play on. No one really to kick to. So he goes into the pocket, looks for Silvani. Nearly the mark taken by Gaspar. Ball spills to the back. Andrew Callaway. Hand pass, Gaspar. Tackled there by Whitnell. Turner. Oh, that was very well disguised by Scotty Turner. I think he looked anxiously at the umpire, who gave the all clear for a boundary throw-in. Looking again at Scotty Turner, looking there for the safety of the boundary line and finding it. 65 metres around from the Carlton goal. Allen doing the ruck work up against Gale. Just taken to the ground. The umpire see that as all clear, or is that a free kick, John?
No, he's called for a bounce, Robbo, but players a little entangled at the bottom, and now Peter Carey talking to Scott Camporelli and just telling him to keep the lid on it all.
Jason mentioned earlier they were keen to tackle Camporelli, but the Carlton boys are just as keen to get anyone from Richmond that gets anywhere near him straight off.
Good tap by Allen. The run of Brown, couldn't get on the end of it. Broderick's hand passes astray. Lappin's on the end of that. Good kick by Matthew Lappin to the danger zone. Is that a free kick? It is to Carlton. Right in front. It's going to Hickmott. And
Robbo,
Johnny, did he call play on first?
What I will say is he called play on, and then the crowd roared, and in response to the... Well, it's a big call, but I reckon in response to the crowd roar, Hickmott's been paid that free kick because the size up here were concerned that the free kick wasn't paid. Then after he called play on, he then paid it.
Hickmott from 3 kicks has kicked 2 goals.
As I said, Robbo, I mean, it is a big statement to make of an umpire, but I'm firmly of the opinion that the play on was called. Play on was called by Brian Sheehan in the background here, and that free kick to Hickmott was not paid at that time. The mark was taken, then the whistle went, and the free kick was paid to Hickmott. So certainly strange order of events, but the end result was a free kick to Hickmott, and a goal resulted.
Look at these two, aren't they close? Ben Hollands played very little senior footy. In fact, he's in his second match tonight, and Scott Camporelli. But Hickmott, controversial, the way the decision was given in the end.
Allen dominant.
Ratton good. To Nelson, to Silvani. Couldn't quite hold it. Tivendale. Still with Tivendale. Still with Tivendale. Takes a bounce. Runs across the face of the goal. Left foot kick is a beauty. Well played to Ben Hollands. Hollands quickly on to Rogers. Now he's got a panic here. He can take off. Platt leads for him. He decides to come into centre half forward to Knights. Knights couldn't quite take it. Bradley held him up pretty well. McKay, the Blues are going all right, but McKay's kick's a poor one. Tawney's got it. Rebound footy at both ends. Tawney's kick's a poor one. A bouncing ball. Well done though. Kellaway's only kicked 3 goals in his career. He's now kicked 4. How about that? Goal-kicking defender streaming through.
It certainly went from end to end quick. It was a terrific piece of play from Tivendale when he just headed back towards his own goal, switched play, went right down the other side. Now it was a poor kick once Carlton did get possession of the ball. They kicked it to a 3-on-1 situation. Another poor kick coming in, but Callaway just stuck out the hand. He got the ball running in his direction, picked it up, and I tell you what, defenders are pretty happy when they get on the end of one.
Well, well done there by Duncan Callaway. He's worked very hard in the middle of the ground, trying to contain Fraser Brown. Brown with 3 kicks and 3 hand passes. Callaway with 2 and 3, but more importantly, he's kicked a goal for the Tigers. 6-4 plays 5-2. Brendan Gale gets his hand on it. And again, wide. Kick forward by White towards the half-forward line. Free kick to Carlton.
Hickmott again.
And Hickmott gets it again. holding on maybe.
Yep.
Kick into the pocket. Camporelli gets away from young Ben Hollands on this occasion and is marked within scoring range, but a very difficult angle confronting Scott Camporelli.
Well, you can just see why Carlton was so keen to get Adrian Hickmott back on the ground. I mean, just the way he uses the ball, that was a perfectly weighted kick. He's causing a lot of problems. He's finding front position, and that had to be spot on, that kick, and it was.
You can see the gloved left hand of Scott Camporelli, the hand which was damaged and forced him to miss. Kick by Camporelli goes across the face, scores a behind. His first score in this match. Friday night football at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Culpet on the ground. Culpet on the ground. Culpet off the ground. Just check that.
Dangerous
Again.
kick.
Good mark to Bowden. Excellent mark. Plays on. Kicks quickly with the left. Down towards the wing. Whitnell couldn't take the mark. Gathered by Broderick. Beautiful crumbing by Paul Broderick. Kicks to Richardson. Slips through his hands. Should have taken that. Kudafides in his defensive 50-0. Kicks in towards centre-half back. Sexton under pressure. Knights does well to dispossess the Carlton player, and Matthew Knights to force a bounce half forward for the Tigers.
Gee, there's a couple of easy marks that Richo's dropped up forward for the Tigers. You just get the feeling sometimes that he's too worried about his opponent, whether he's going to make contact with him at the point of impact of the ball. He's just got to concentrate on the ball. I mean, he's got to eat those marks. They're easy. They're the easy ones.
10 minutes left in the quarter. Hollands, that's Ben Holland actually. Kicked by Sexton. Campbell kicks towards full forward. That awkward bouncing ball again. Kudafides doesn't even concede a behind and then kicks it wide. Coughs it up. Broderick's out there on his own. You'd reckon he was in a Carlton Guernsey, and then kicks it to the chest of Matthew Richardson.
And isn't that the ultimate justice? When you make a mistake and your opponent ends up with the ball. He kept the ball in. He must have thought he had a good option out there. I don't know if he mistook Broderick for a Carlton player, because he's kicked it straight to him. And the first thing that happens, more often than not, is your opponent's going to be loose and he's on the end of the ball.
Carlton 8 centre bounce hit outs so far in this second term, and centre bounce clearances. The Blues have had 8, Richmond 4.
Well, nearly every kick for shot, or every shot for goal that's had so far, he's just stabbing at 30 metres, a very low trajectory. He's got to kick through the ball.
He doesn't run far enough, maybe, and
he just doesn't look confident, Robbo.
No, he does. He's very hesitant, isn't he, Matthew Richardson?
Blood rule, Robbo.
Robbo, can answer your question about Heath Culpet. He's off the ground. Plenty of activity down here. It was all surrounding Wayne Campbell. They were trying to lose the Franchina tag, but they're both back on the ground and tagging each other again.
It's been effective too. Campbell just 3 disposals, 1 kick, 2 handballs, and his kick was a little one around the body. Daffy coming off for the blood rule. Daffy, 7 kicks first quarter, 1 so far in this term. We're over halfway through it. Blues have done a really good job here. They trailed by 4 early. Sampson on, kicked a goal in the opening term. They trailed by 4 early, but they've been able to peg back the Tigers back to a 7-point game. Rice goes as far as he can. Allen was probably second in line, but he had a lot of it. It was a fair decision. McKay takes the handball, plays on quickly, kicks to Lappin. He's a good mark for his inches, and he has had a big impact, Lappin, on this match. It's a lovely mark at centre wing. He kicks down the line to Beaumont, but Andrew Kellaway getting back, and the ball coming off him for a boundary throw in.
Feeds must have been hard to get in the Kellaway household when they were kids, Bruce. They're both real desperates, aren't they, Duncan and Andrew?
I hate to be the kid across the road going over for a kick out the backyard. Beaumont, gee, got into the back of Burke, and back of Burke, well, he's going to get a free kick.
I don't mean that, Mrs. Kellaway, please. I'm sure that you fed them both very well. Fine, upstanding young men.
Clearly push out in this marking, in this ruck contest, so free kick paid to David Burke.
At half back. So the Tigers, it's dried up a bit for them up forward, maybe because Richardson's kicked so poorly. He's had a lot of shots, and had he converted, they might have been a couple more in front. Centre wing, big fly came from Hamill. Quick kick away came from the Blues. That was Christou's on the ground. Little give by Platt to Gasper. Sweeping handball to Ben Hollands. Hollands wide.
Terrific pass.
It's a good one to Richardson, who's at 50. And he's getting plenty of it, isn't he, Richardson? This is his 8th kick coming up.
This might be perfect for him because from here he has to kick through the ball to get the distance. So maybe he'll go back, relax, and just let fly.
It's a better run up. Certainly a better kick. Gee, you're a good judge. Have a look at that one. Remind me to get you to mark my card tomorrow. That's a good call, Jason. 5-3 to 7-4.
Now, what Matthew Richardson has to do is every time he has a shot for goal, he's got to kick the ball like that. It doesn't matter if you're 5 metres out or if you're 50 metres out. The shot for goal should be a rehearsed routine that is exactly the same every single time. That was a fantastic kick from young Ben Hollins.
And actually, he's been good, Jason, because he's probably just lessened the efficiency of Scott Camporelli. He's had 3 touches himself.
Yep.
So Whitnall having a spell on the bench for the Blues. Matthew Richardson has now kicked 3 goals in this game. Knocked down by Allen. Ratton just looks just a little scratchy. Kick forward for the Tigers has been marked by Bradley. He's across half-back, not quite up to the centre of the ground. And a lot of indecision, wasn't there? And then kicked it out wide. McKay shrugs the tackle, goes down the ground, kicks towards half-forward. High flyer. Down there was Allen, couldn't take the mark. Hickmott appealing for the free kick against Jason Tawney. Not forthcoming, umpire will bounce. 13 points the advantage to the Tigers. 7 minutes left in the first half.
Now picking up Holland, and we've got Manton going back on Richardson now in the goal square.
So the Blues very concerned about Matthew Richardson's impact up on the forward line for the Tigers. Ratton gets it out. Camporelli goes back to Beaumont. Beaumont shrugs the tackle. Very average kick, but Lappin's going to get it. Well, it was an ordinary kick, I thought, by Simon Beaumont.
Oh,
Lappin's got a player in the pocket.
He just had his back to play, Robbo.
The mortal sin of football, turning your back on the play, you just lose all sense of where your teammates are. But Lappin, he's got the chance to kick a goal. He'll have to kick it 50 metres. Just a little stuttering approach in towards full forward, getting back as Gale. Turner kept Stephen Silvani away from the contest. Gale is marked and then kicks it out wide. He's going to cough it up. Lappin is marked away from David Burke, and is that 50 metres?
Well, I think it should be 50.
It is.
And it will be paid, and that is a correct decision. I mean, Matthew Lappin had taken the mark. The marking contest was over. We can all say there wasn't a lot of time in it, but in my opinion, David Burke knows. We see it again here. Matthew Lappin takes the mark. David Burke knows the contest is over, but thinks I'll just put him on the deck anyway to make sure we can hold up play and we can get those forwards covered. And so that's exactly the situation the 50-metre penalty was devised for. And I just hope that it's consistently paid like that.
Yeah, I don't know if his intention was to actually drag him to the ground. He was trying to stop him from playing on and grab hold of him, but in the end it was clumsy the way that he did it, and he's presented them with an absolute gift goal.
6 marks to Matthew Lappin. His 9th kick coming up. Could be his first goal in the game. No!
Oh.
Shot! Well...
Another 50.
Oh, I don't believe this.
You're joking.
They are bluing the Richmond players. Absolutely bluing.
Peter Carey signalling now that it wasn't David Burke on the mark that the penalty's paid against. The penalty's paid against his teammates being too close on the sides.
He's going to get the goal.
And let's just hope that this doesn't unsettle the Tigers. And David Burke, a pretty unflappable bloke. And
he's furious.
And he is absolutely fuming. And Matty Knight's obviously going to take the opportunity to have a crack at Peter Carey. David Burke still going, and David Burke, as we all know, is not that sort of a character. So for him to get us upset over this incident here, we can see David Burke standing on the mark, but we can see arms right of screen. That's what the 50-metre penalty's paid for Benny Gale being too close on the side.
I'll tell you right now, Peter Carey went and had a long chat to David Burke after that. I think he got one of the best pays you'll ever hear, and he was just asking whether in fact it was directed at him or if he was just getting a little bit of letting a bit of steam off.
And with 6 minutes left in the quarter, Richmond do have to settle down because the Blues have got a little bit of momentum, and if they don't concentrate the Tigers, Carlton could go in leaders at half-time.
7-4, 6-3. So back to 7 points. Has had a bit of everything this game, hasn't it?
Now, that's similar to the tackle in the first quarter where it was paid as a push in the back.
And that's the sort of thing we're talking about.
Okay, so it's been paid. That's great. The signal was, in fact, for a ball up.
Franchina high, Silvani's his target, gets to the front, good mark. He's at 50, he'll probably wind himself up here and try and go for goal now. He does, and kicks it long to the goal square. He's not going to make it. Getting back, Ottens couldn't quite. Chance for Hamill, he's kicked the goal, and we've got a one-point ball game. Exactly as Robbo said a moment ago, the Tigers have got to settle down.
It was the free kick, actually, at the centre that went against Franchina. They were just a little overzealous in their endeavours to lock it up in the middle of the ground.
And look at all this too, Robbo. All this going on, so...
To be fair, Bruce, or to be honest, I think it's unsettled everybody, including the umpires, because there was no doubt that free kick was awarded as a bounce initially, and
clever kick.
The Tigers are rattled.
Gee, Ottens had a bit of it. You'll see in the end that Hamill actually kicks the ball very cleverly over his left shoulder. The Blues within a point.
So centre bounce clearance is important. Franchina, Kutafides downed, didn't have the footy. So Richmond concentrating now on the man instead of the footy, and they're losing the absolute plot in the latter part of this first half. Certainly concentrating too much on the man. Kutafides with the free kick. Richmond by a point, close to half-time. Still 5 minutes left.
Wrong Carlton player with the ball, Rob, I think.
Yeah, the second free kick was paid, so...
going to Nelson, John.
That's right.
Nelson could put the Tigers right under pressure here with a long kick in towards the forward 50. Good mark this time by Ottens. He stood tall and grabbed hold of it strongly in front of Hamill. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Ottens gives the hand pass away to Gasper. Tigers from their half-back line.
Touches it on the ground once and then kicks to centre wing. Knights and Bradley. Knights had the best of it early. Bradley's been able to hold him up. Kellaway back to Burke. Still with Burke. Okay to Andrew Kellaway on the left foot. Gets it to about 50. Nobody really attacking the footy. McKay's had a terrific first half. Holland's held him up pretty well. Campbell coming up from Ben Holland to Campbell to full forward. Richo, you'd back him. He's too good. Bit too big and too strong for Manton.
Yeah, it was a good kick from Wayne Campbell. Richo he was at the back of his opponent, but he called for the long kick to come in quickly to give him the one-out opportunity. He knew where his opponent was. Once the ball came in, he got on the right side of him, just used his superior strength. And Richo said, well, that's a good settler for the Tigers because they have lost focus in the last 5 minutes.
Campbell getting it to Richardson. He's kicked 4, Richo, in the first half. He has been a key player. He got 4 last week against the Bombers.
Could this be the night where we see Richo really stand up and win a game for the Tigers off his own boot? They desperately need someone to do that.
Good tackle by Hollands on McKay.
It was, after he broke the initial one, Robbo. A very good tackle, and that's just too strong. Let's hope he has a night out, Richo. We'd love to see him in full flight all night.
Well, he's promised plenty, Matthew Richardson, and much to the chagrin of the Tiger supporters, they believe they're still waiting for the delivery. Tonight, maybe a big return. Allen up high, got first hands to the ball. Bowden dispossessed there by Ratton. Kellaway, Camporelli. Ball spills forward for the Blues. Gasper, nearly tackled by Hickmott. Got it away to Bowden. Bowden to the middle of the ground, Broderick. Good vision. Running support by Daffy. Nearly tackled by Nelson. Gets it to fall forward. Ball spills to the back of the pack. Manton may concede it behind. He does. A rush behind to Richmond. Close to the long break here at the MCG. Friday night footy. Jeff Geeshan barking instructions down to the bench. Bradley quickly kicks it into Dean Rice. Rice further down the line. Mark not taken there by Hamill. Andrew Kellaway had probably let him know about it. No. Man on a mission, Andrew Kellaway. Go, Dip.
Hans Christian now playing on Burke in the forward line. He's seen Beaumont off Burke. He's done a terrific job in the half-back line there tonight.
Dipper on the boundary line. Holland had no opposition. Camporelli held up by Duncan Kellaway.
And Kutafides back on Richo, Bruce.
So a quick swap there. About 10 minutes of Manton, now Kuta. Manton did look outgunned in that one duel they had. Sexton's probably the only, well, Silvani as well, I forget about him, but Sexton and Silvani, the other possibilities. But at the moment, it's Kuta again. Manton getting over the top of Holland. Rice spins out of trouble, did it very, very well to Ratton. A bounce. He'll use Bradley's pace here out wider. Bradley runs his full measure, then kicks it hard and high to centre half forward. Silvani well played at the back Tawney belted away, only as far as Fraser Brown. 65 metres out. Poor kick. Richmond players get in the way to one another. A bouncing ball at centre half forward. Christou goes to ground. Probably wanted a free kick. Sexton tries to slap it out. Turner does effectively get it towards the line. It was a good play. Bowden leads. He's a left footer. Ducks his head. Keeps low. Wants the boundary line. Broderick another left footer. In close. Campbell the old 1-2 to Broderick. Is good footy to Kellaway. Kellaway slowly gets the ball forward. Rice is sitting duck. Platt at the back. As far as Knights, his handball cut off by his opponent. Bradley, that was okay. Belted it out of the ground. Rogers kept it going forward. Kellaway's handball over the top to Tawney. Tawney at centre wing. Little kick to Platt. Platt a long way from goal. He's about a couple of kicks away. Little one on. And Ben Hollands comes for him, and he finds him about 80 metres from the goal.
Fourth kick coming up for Ben Hollands, and Camporelli has only added one since that young fellow has come onto him. The kick towards full forward Manton, knocked away to Bradley. Bradley kicks it out right. The Blues have got to get something out of this. Hickmott can go into the middle of the ground. Running down is Allen. Get onto his left, ducks back and gets past Rogers, rather contemptuously, doesn't he? Matthew Allen goes for goal. It's a goal. Not touched on the line. Goal to Matthew Allen. Wasn't he the dancing big man there in the middle of the ground, Matthew Allen, to get past Matthew Rogers and kick a goal from outside 50.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this was a very good kick. He kicked it back into the corridor rather than going wide. And I reckon everyone at the MCG knew that Matty Allen was going back onto his left foot. Poor old Matthew Rogers just didn't read it early enough. And that's a great kick. Good bit of shepherding from Silvani right on the goal line.
Look close, didn't it, Turner? Gee, Bradley good too to get it to Hickmott.
Yep.
And Hickmott's field kicking has been fantastic. It's a terrific game. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching it. It's Friday night footy that's best. It's 8-3 to 8-5. Allen attacks hard. He's fired up. Luckily gets it to Franchina. Blues haven't been in front all night. Kicks to full forward. Silvani goes to ground. Scotty Turner's done a good job on him in the second quarter particularly. Tivendale wanting the line. Kellaway wants it as well. Doesn't get it.
Free kick to Kellaway for a push in the back after it handballed
Poor play, Sorry, John. Franchina played that very badly then because Sexton was in the gun. And he's cost his team just by doing it a bit too much, a bit overzealous. No one to go against Rice, and he takes the mark. Blues have finished both quarters off pretty strongly. Gets to Allen.
Been good, Matthew Allen.
Winds himself up, Robbo, and gives it his best. Handles his target at centre half forward. Gasper from the side. Whitnell's high ball. It's very wide and not at all handsome.
He had a bit more time than he thought then, Lance Whitnell. He just threw it on the boot as quick as he could. He could have settled, even run another 5 metres and had a good set shot for goal.
Yeah, we see Ange back on the bench now. And between both teams, boys, there's been 35 interchanges being made tonight.
Well, you must have run out of fingers and toes, Dipper. It's Kellaway.
Duncan Kellaway's on his own and a long, long way away from any Carlton player. Kicks it down the field to Campbell. Campbell goes into the pocket. Good kick. Platt couldn't take the mark. It's knocked away by Rice, but in doing so, he is infringed against the Richmond player, and Platt will take it.
A bit unlucky, I think, Dean Rice. I didn't think he did much wrong there.
Good kick by Platt. Finds Broderick. He's a good goal kicker too, Paul Broderick, and he's within scoring range.
I think a free kick's coming to... is it going to... No, sorry. Ben Hollands and Camporelli were involved in a little one. I thought for a moment Ben Hollands was going to get a free kick. Got a better angle.
He's really starting to annoy Camporelli.
Yep.
Well, he's negated the effectiveness of Camporelli since coming onto the ground. He's had four kicks, 2 marks, 2 tackles. Camporelli not adding much to his personal tally. Broderick just going back to settle again, which is a good ploy. The half-time siren has sounded. 2 points at least, the margin in favour of Richmond. Paul Broderick maybe to make it 8. No, hooks the kick. Adds just a behind to their advantage. So they lead by 3 after leading by 13 at quarter time. Jeff Geeshan watching the advantage of his Tigers slip away a little bit towards the latter part of the second quarter. David Burke and Peter Carey having a bit of a chit-chat there.
Just apologise to him, I think, Robbo.
Yes, maybe, but Matthew Knights has been pretty good. But at half-time, Richmond lead by 3 points.
David Parkin's been a terrific first half. Richardson, those 4 goals have been so important. But the Blues came back strongly, and at the long break, we've got a real ball game here. It's 54 to 51. Second half about to start on Friday night footy. Tigers to the left of screen. Allen had a very good first half. Gale couldn't quite get a handle on it. Daffy pulled off it before he can get an effective kick away. Sexton releases Camporelli. Camporelli wide. Silvani's got him. It's a good kick. It's been a contest turner in Silvani, a very good one.
Tell you what, you'd have to have a good close look at this. It hit him on the chest. But I reckon the ball might have hit the ground as he went with the footy to the ground himself.
Well, he really does fling himself forward to get that last yard out in front. Throws himself at the ball. Well,
Close
we'll give him
mark.
the benefit of the doubt, Robert.
You're
It
generous.
always goes to the forward.
Probably not a catch in cricket, but a mark in footy, okay. Silvani has kicked a goal. The Blues are in front for the first time tonight.
That's just the perfect start, and Steve Silvani running a long way to give a pat on the back to Simon Beaumont. It's the perfect start for the Blues. Camporelli, a terrific kick as well, out in front. He just made the ground. Robbo questioned the mark. I think we'll... good enough.
That's a
Held
mark.
on to it long enough. Gee, the kick only just made it too from about 40 metres out, but a perfect start for the Blues now.
And Ratton, who we thought was injured in the first quarter, hasn't had a real impact. Camporelli, who we thought Hollands had controlled, got into the action very quickly, and an effective kick forward gave the opportunity to Silvani. Franchina from behind the centre bounce area, kicks out wide. Lappin couldn't take the mark. Confronted there was Andrew Callaway. Bowden back to Duncan Callaway. Tackled by Franchina was fierce, wasn't it? But it was an indiscreet tackle, so the free kick will go to the Tiger defender. Hand pass away to Bowden. Runs away and then avoids the tackle. Looked to give the hand pass away, then bounces and settles, delivers to within scoring range. At the back was Holland, gathered there for the Blues by Koutafidis. Got his foot to the ball, struggling to clear their half-back line, the Blues. Chance for Allen, tap on, Beaumont. Lappin's tap on, gathered by Bowden to Brendan Gale. Kick smothered off the boot. The Blues might get out of strife here. Camporelli dancing and shrugging the tackle. Ratton's kick goes out wide and Beaumont is gathered. Right foot kick by Beaumont. On this occasion, gives the chance to Hume. Tap it on in front of yourself. Confronted by Andrew Callaway. Tackled. Back to Hickmott. In turn forward. Punched away from Silvani by Turner. Andrew Callaway under the pump. And the ball spills for a throw-in. Dipper.
Yeah, Jason Tawney staying on the best from Richmond. Ashley Burton, Mark Drezovic, and also Brad Oppens.
Thanks, Dipper. Gee, Camporelli was good at the back, wasn't he, a moment ago? That Dragosevic is going to drive Dipper mad by the end of the year.
I'll get it right one day.
You'll be right, Dip. Forward for the Blues. They've started well. Hickmott clever. Couldn't quite get Sexton. Burke over the top. Didn't control it. Beaumont. Matthew Allen floating one to the goals and bouncing on the fall in the end. And a kick for the Tigers. Carlton have come back strongly. When you consider that Richmond kicked the first 4 goals of the match, Carlton have kicked 9 of the last 13. That's a pretty damaging stat from Richmond's point of view. Camporelli gets it from Allen, he's slow, and then surely threw it away. And Matthew Knights has earned a free kick at half-back.
Just lost his place on the ground there, Scott Camporelli, didn't he? Must have thought he was in the clear, and Matthew Knights onto him very quickly.
And in this situation, Robbo, he must successfully kick or successfully handball the ball when he's had a prior opportunity, and didn't do either.
Richardson
free
gets
kick.
a free kick against Koutafidis. Had a big first half, Richardson. 4 goals, 2 and 1 out of bounds on the fall. But still you think Kouta's the best bet against him. Between centre wing and half forward, he centres the ball. Holland.
Good grab.
That's the first time he's really had a real crack, hasn't he? Haven't seen much of him tonight. He had one in the pocket. We thought he might have got paid, and he didn't. And Ben Holland, who's only had the 1 kick, 2 or 3 handballs. He's been the leading goal kicker of the club so far this year.
He has been very quiet, but that's a very strong mark in front, Manton, trying to get the fist through to spoil, but he just got a very good grip on it, refused to let go, and this will be a good confidence booster for Ben Holland if he can kick this goal.
Big kick, actually, Jason. He hasn't had many cracks. Get a good idea of where he's at as far as the goals are concerned. We look from behind. Kick and the goal here will give him a huge boost in the second half, and also the Tigers, because the Blues have been on top since halfway through the opening term. Holland deliberate, looks good. It's a perfect kick. So Ben Holland gets his first for the night, and the Tigers arrest the lead back at 9-6 to 9-3.
Very important goal for the Tigers too. I just think Carlton, they had the momentum late in the second quarter. They kicked the first goal in the third quarter. The Tigers needed to do something there just to stop that. And maybe this will get Ben Holland into the game himself and give his teammates a bit of a lift.
Good strong mark and goal to Ben Holland for Richmond. Gets their 9th. Allen down to Brown. Bumped by Daffy. Knights intercepts the ball, which may have been gathered by Bradley. Knights not happy there with the attention from Craig Bradley.
Well, the whistle's gone again.
And a big bump by Daffy on Brown. And then went in after him again at ground level. Umpire bounces just forward of the centre circle. Allen and Brendan Gale. Brendan Gale gets his foot to it. Not really an effective kick. Neither was that from Michael Sexton. Nelson was strong. Gets it out to Brown. Brown's kick. Good mark. Strong mark taken by Rogers. He's behind the wing, between wing and right half back. Kicks the Tigers to within 50 metres. Push. Up high. Push out.
Yeah. 2 actions by Richo. First intention was to get rid of the opponents by putting his hands on top of them. And we see him go for the mark in here, hands down, gets rid of Glenn Manton, then he thinks about taking the mark. Can't do that, Richo.
Chance for the Blues here. Bradley streaming through half-back, goes short, finds Lappin. Lappin uses the ball pretty well, and this is no exception. It's a good pass from 40 metres onto the chest of Silvani. He's been quite creative, Matthew Lappin. He's had the ball 12 times, he's kicked a goal. Now down on the full forward line, trying to maybe scramble a goal out of this kick forward by Silvani. This will stretch Stephen Silvani, 50 metres. It'll land right on the line. Up high was Hamill. Hickmott's a chance. Back to Lappin. Lappin's left foot step. He's kicked the goal he was looking for. Hasn't he? No, he's if and if. It's a goal. He is an amazing young fellow. We saw him take potentially one of the marks of the year in round 1 against the Bombers, I think it was. And by gee, the expressions on his face, it's really interesting stuff. 13 touches for Matthew Lappin, and he has kicked his 2nd goal.
And that's the second time we've seen a big smile on his face this year on Friday night footy. And why wouldn't you be pleased with a quick snapshot like that? He didn't have much angle to work with. I'm not quite sure what that hand signal is, but he's pretty happy with the result. He wasn't sure either.
He's won $50 in a game of poker.
Terrific stuff. And Hickmott and Lappin, who you mentioned coming off the bench, Jason,
they've been fantastic.
They've been terrific, creative and scoring. So the Blues get back again. Big test now for the Tigers. Allen timed it better than Gale. Goes to Ratton. Ratton to half forward. Hamill has a run and took a beauty. Now he can kick a goal here. Suddenly, well, not suddenly, it's been coming for a while. The Blues are getting on top.
He's a player who has been relatively quiet, Bruce, and has the potential to take a game by the throat, Aaron Hamill.
Last week, he didn't kick a goal, and that was the first time in 11 matches that he hadn't scored a major for the Blues. So he's been a good goal kicker late last year and early this year. Kicked a clever goal in the second term. This would give Carlton a little bit of breathing space. He's given it a hook. He liked it off the boot, but it's a behind. So who's on the bench for the Blues, Dipper?
We've got Lance Whitnell on the bench, but also Darren Hume came off halfway through that start of that third quarter. It looks like he's jarred his left knee. They just bandaged it up at the moment, and we'll keep you up to date with that.
Ratton cuts it off to Beaumont. Beaumont, Camporelli, he's skillful enough to kick a goal from here. He's drilled it. That's good footy.
He's the key player. He is the key player, Bruce. He was missing last week. He's just got that magnificent bit of skill, hasn't he? No matter where he's got the ball, even under pressure, he seems to be able to hold onto the footy, give himself some space, and that was a beautiful kick.
Yeah, I must say, Robbo, when he was about to have the shot, I was questioning whether it was the right option to go for. But I guess every team has 1 or 2 players that can just do those real classy things from tight angles, and he took it on his own and did it beautifully.
Well, the Blues have their greatest advantage. Brendan Gale, a big punch back towards the half-forward line. Knights tackled, got the ball away. Callaway, that's Duncan, kicks the ball forward. Matthew Richardson decides to punch it further forward. Broderick couldn't gather. Bowden can from 50 metres. Joel Bowden goes long. Offline. Is that a mark? Might be over the line, out of bounds, is it?
No, the boundary umpire doesn't want that.
Play on, a goal. A goal. If that's allowed to be play on, it is. It's a goal. Well, that's an absolute mess between the goal umpire, the boundary umpire and the field umpire. You wonder whether it was out of bounds. There's still a discussion going on between the boundary umpire and the central umpire, but having nothing of it was Brian Sheehan. It is a goal to the Tigers, kicked by Ben Holland.
Well, you would have to say that that's nearly out of bounds, but regardless of that fact, it was a fantastic piece of play. It was a great mark, and then played on quickly and hooked it in for a team-lifting goal for the Tigers.
What a sensational camera angle that was on the line.
Looked like he might have just raked it in from a couple of inches out too, Bruce.
Just 3 kicks to Ben Holland, 2 goals.
Terrific match, isn't it? Goal for goal now. Holland becoming an important player. So they've got the Twin Peaks, Richardson and Holland. Ratton's been good. Camporelli's been a star. Strolls through half forward. Silvani held on to maybe. Hickmont's been a beauty. Gets it back again. Has he done it again? Lappin, he has again.
He's the crummer they've been looking for, Matthew Lappin.
Kick through.
Just finding his feet after, 7 games that he's played.
And what about the creativity coming from Hickmont tonight? Everything he's touched has turned to goal.
It certainly has, and Bruce actually called it when Matty Lappin came on late in the first quarter. He said he's the crummer they need at the foot of Silvani. Well, Silvani contested the mark. Hickmont, quick handball out, and that's just another opportune goal. He's kicked one with the left, now one with the right from that pocket, and that's just instinct. No time to think, you just let fly.
A wonderful grin on the face of Matthew Lappin. A little wonder, 3 goals, and he's had 14 possessions. Up high, Allen, who's dominated the centre bounce ruck work. Underneath that, Andrew Callaway. Was that tackle high? Nelson tries to shrug the tackle and take the football with him. Unsuccessful. Umpire will bounce once again. Andrew Callaway on screen. A few of the interesting matchups at the top of the screen there. Allen gets his left hand to it again. Beaumont tried to get it to Nelson. Brendan Gale just forward. Bradley and Knights. Bradley beaten badly by Knights early, but's fought back. Bowden, handball, awkward one for Daffy. Back goes Nelson, gathers, gets the hand pass to McKay, finds a little bit of space and screams through strongly. Goes towards half forward. Beaumont couldn't take the mark, got his hands on it, gave it to Camporelli. Maybe a sign of confidence lacking there from Beaumont. Sexton to full forward, and Silvani leading out in front has taken the mark. The momentum with the Blues, they lead by 10 points. Lappin provides the lead, but Silvani goes shorter and finds Sexton. How many goals has Michael Sexton kicked over the last 5 or 6 years? Not many, you would think, because he's been a very, very major part of a strong Blues defence. Just 19 goals to Michael Sexton, and he's kicking for goal number 20 for his career, and a stuttering approach again results in a behind off to the right.
Fascinating the way they've used him, Jason. They've got Holland and Richardson, 2 big, tall, key forwards, and yet they've kept Sexton well away from all of that, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and it's a role we don't see him in much, where he's really pushing up the ground and getting involved in a lot more on-ball play.
Turner's probing kick. Well, Gasper probably should have taken it. Sexton to Ratton is becoming important. Out wide, he's got him. Found Carlton. He's about 45 to 50 metres out. Heath Carlton off the rookie list. Lappin is having a night out. But Carlton, this would take a terrific kick. And wouldn't the Blues love this? They've given them a 3-goal margin. She's kicked it pretty well. It's not going to be a goal. It's a behind. But looked good off the boot. So we're out to 2 goals. It's 12-6 to 10-6. Remember, the Tigers kicked the first 4 goals of the game. So since that point, it's been 12-6. That's a very big period of domination by Carlton.
Well, Nick Daffy now with the duty to bring the ball back into play. Goes long. Gets good distance outside his defensive 50. Allen over the top, couldn't take the mark. Campbell gathers the crumb and kicks the ball out wide towards the wing. McKay getting back, stood his ground manfully. Knights chipping in. Franchina and Knights. Bradley there, Ball spills for a throw-in.
Been a very interesting duel, the two captains, Knights and Bradley. Knights playing as a half forward and Bradley picking him up at half back. Neither of them getting as much as the ball as they would be used to getting, but it's been a very absorbing contest.
11 touches each. Duncan Callaway and Brett Ratton, two of the very hard, tireless workers for their respective teams. Brett Ratton, we believe, copped the knock. Indiscriminate kick at the ball by Matthew Richardson, connecting him around the left hip area. Maybe restricted by that, but he's done well so far in this third term. Umpires found a free kick from the boundary throw-in. Brendan Gale bemused, but it goes back to Matthew Allen. He's been fantastic. Looking to play on, is forced to do just that. Gets it to Bradley, so they haven't lost much there. Bradley forces the ball forward, and that's a Carlton mark. Might be Hamill again, the way it was grabbed, was it? Beaumont, was it? Lappin taking the crumbs, kicks towards full forward. Well done, Andrew Callaway. Gets the ball away to Turner, in turn to Bowden. Bowden out wide, mark taken down here in front of us by Richardson, who's a long way from the goal square.
It's not where they want Richo getting the ball either.
He's kicked to centre wing. Good fly by Tawney, couldn't take the mark, goes to ground. McKay onto him, Daffy releases Sampson on the left, good kick to centre half forward. Callaway couldn't quite. Brown pushes, Knights, great tackle. Bradley, Callaway tucked away in the pocket, comes back to Platt. Platt, little one in close, not 10 metres. Play on. Daffy held up. Handball was okay.
Free kick paid for holding the man, Bruce, which is a bit bewildering because he certainly had the footy when he was tackled, but obviously considered the tackle persisted a little bit after the ball was spilled out. Got the footy, tackled by Franchina, and then the free kick obviously paid for that.
Just a little overzealous, wasn't he, Anthony Franchina there? Did everything right, but just held on to him a little too long.
So Daffy has been a great goal kicker. Half-forward midfielder, more than the midfielder the last couple of years. He hasn't done it. In fact, he's not going to make the diss as a mark, is it, to Richardson? It's been claimed and paid. Well, we saw him at half-back 2 minutes ago, and he was in the goal square as Daffy was having a shot. He's had 7 shots for goal tonight and kicked 4. He's not confident. He missed a check side at the other end in the second quarter. He's going to kick on his left foot, and he's missed. He had no confidence, did he?
No, he had a similar shot for goal up the other end and he tried a banana. That time he tried to run out onto the left foot and screw it around the corner, but you can tell the players that back themselves in and those that really aren't sure, and he hasn't been sure with a lot of his shots tonight.
If you're going to make a mess of it, you might as well make a big mess of it. He should have gone back and had a go with his right foot, I think.
McKay's got it from Bradley.
McKay's deep in the right back pocket, kicks it out towards the wing. Knocking it forward was Gaspar. Contest, Gaspar tackled by Camporelli, looking for the free kick. Not forthcoming, the umpire will bounce.
And just for the Blues fans, Darren Hume's been doing a lot of warm-up activities here on the boundary line, so good news for him.
Camporelli, who's been, he was a little quiet towards the end of the second term, but he's had a lot of the football so far. 6 touches so far in this third term. Allen and Brendan Gale. No, it was Ben Holland, actually. Nelson with the footy. Umpire will bounce once again. 11 points in favour of the Blues. 8 minutes left in the third term. And the bounce of the ball not quite up to left half forward for Richmond. Badly needing a goal. Tigers led by 3 at half time. Broderick, awkward ball. Ratton. Broderick gets it out. Daffy runs away from that left half forward position. Kicks to the front of the square. Back there is Koutafidis. That was a telling mark. Surely must help the confidence of Koutafidis. Bradley in the pocket. Kicks it down towards the wing. Allen and Brendan Gale over the top. Franchina dispossesses Brendan Gale. Can't break away from Paul Broderick. The umpire will bounce. Just forward of centre wing, favouring Richmond. Culpet off the ground and Hume back on for the Blues. 78 plays 67. Allen and Gale. This time Brendan Gale out positions Matthew Allen. Kicked forward by Duncan Callaway. Knights and Franchina. Franchina does well. Dispossesses Matthew Knights. Knocks it clear for a throw-in.
Good tackling by the Blues. They've kept that midfield down. Campbell and Knights haven't had a whole lot of it. There's been some interesting matchups all around the ground. Brown Ratton getting better. Kicks to centre wing. Lapham one hand. Gasper hurled up by Hamill. Still a ball to be won. And it's going to be a ball up between centre wing and half forward for the Blues. They lead by nearly 2 goals. It's an 11-point game. 12-6 to 10-7.
Ratton 5 touches so far in this quarter.
Lappin just with a little bit of a limp there. Should be able to shrug that off all right. Kellaway good. Campbell hasn't had a big night. Poor kick. And Hickmott, I think it will be to bring it back in.
Franchina telling Campbell all about that kick right up close too.
Nobody on the mark here. Now Burke comes in. Hickmott just lays it up. I don't think it'll get to Silvani. Oh, Kellaway either lost sight of it or got disorientated. Silvani slaps it out. Lappin, Tawney could have got a free kick. Rogers on hands and knees. Back to Campbell. Couldn't quite shrug it off, but got the handle. Gasper's in a bit of trouble. Now he has to squeeze. It's not a bad kick, actually. It's out in front of Kellaway. Andrew Kellaway, this is. He's close to the line, and I think he's pretty happy to run it over. It'll be a boundary throw-in. About at 70 metres from Carlton's goal. So the Tigers are really just hanging on at the moment.
Darren Hume, his left knee very heavily bandaged, coming back off the bench. Brendan Gale in front on this occasion, big fist to it. Matthew Knights misses his target by a big margin. And as that stayed in, it has. Beaumont, the opportunist, goes towards full forward, clean bowls everyone. Getting back was Broderick to Gasper, in turn Campbell. Campbell's kick, not all that good. He's going to cough it up. Back goes Hickmott. Quality possession, yes, on the chest of Franchina. So Franchina's rewards may be here. He's chased Campbell all night, negated the midfielder for the Tigers, and now will go back and shoot for a goal. A much important kick here from Anthony Franchina. The context of the match, the Blues lead by 11. Franchina can widen the gap to 17 if he can kick accurately. Only about 40 metres out. Good kick. Very good kick by Franchina. It's a goal to the Blues. He has done a very disciplined job for Carlton tonight.
And if body language counts for anything, Robbo, you'd be real worried about Wayne Campbell at the moment. He dropped his head after that ball had been kicked for a goal by Franchina, but it was 2 poor kicks on his left foot in the space of a minute. Now, this latest one, he had 3 Richmond players running out to that side of the ground. All he had to do was get a little bit more distance on it. But again, a poor kick ending up with your immediate opponent and a goal against you.
Another quality possession to Hickmott, Bruce.
It's been terrific, Robbo. 11 touches, but something's happened just about every time.
Yeah, he's kicked 2 goals as well. Allen up high. On this occasion, Gale knocks it forward for Richmond. Kick forward by Broderick. Well done. Spotted Blurton. The kick didn't quite have the carry. Spills to the back. Richardson gathered by Broderick again. Didn't reach its target. Kutafides in there. Hume working at ground level. Can't get the hand pass away. Bowden. Nelson out to McKay. McKay goes down towards the wing. It probably will spill out of bounds. No. Rogers over the top. Tried to get it to Burke. The Blues would be happy with a boundary throw in here, one would suggest, and that's exactly what is going to happen.
Struggling, aren't they? The Tigers had a chance then to go forward. The Blues hurled them up at half-back, as they've done so often in this quarter. And Richmond have to get the next goal. Knights gets it back to half-forward. Good fly and a lovely mark by Broderick. He's playing a bit of a match here in his comeback. Relegated to the reserves, but he's bounced back strongly here. Releases Knights. He's on his wrong side. Right foot. He went to ground. A couple of other players went to ground, and in front Ottens has got it. And I must say, I've been perplexed that Ottens hasn't been used a bit more tonight. When we've seen him play, he's been a very good player for the Tigers, and yet tonight he would have sat out more than half the game on the bench.
Yeah, interesting decision to handball to Matthew Knights, because he was always going to be on his right foot. But Brad Ottens, for a big fellow, showed surprising speed. He read it a little bit better, took off early and really got a couple of yards jump on the rest of the pack. Took it comfortably, and good to see him take it in his hands, not on his chest as well.
He kicked 4 against the Kangaroos on a Friday night match in round 3 when the Tigers seemingly had the match in control and were beaten.
He's normally a pretty confident kick for goal.
Goes a long, long way back. Runs in about 30 metres. Well, to say that the Tigers need this is an understatement. Good shot at the angle. Long run up. Oh, he's missed. That's a bad result. That is a very bad result. The Tigers going up and down in the one spot.
You can have too short a preparation.
You can also have too long. I agree with you, Robbo.
Yeah.
It gives you just too much time to think about what's going to happen, what the result might be, and too much time to actually do something wrong in your preparation.
Exactly. Yep.
Bradley to bring it in. The Blues in control at the moment.
Bit of a punt there. Look for Ratton. Up over the top. Couldn't take the mark. Spills out wide to Allen. Looked for. Didn't find Camporelli. Holland missed his target. Rogers to swoop onto it. Hand pass wide. Chance for Campbell. Kicks to the goal square. 2 on 2. Good punch by Koutafides out wide. Bradley swoops on it. Looks down the ground. Kicks it out wide towards the wing. Oh, Hamill from behind.
Man in front.
Has he been paid? No, man in front. Rogers mark. Stood his ground well.
I think that's fair too, Robbo, because Hamill really did seem to take this out of his hands. Man in front, not a problem.
Fair decision by the umpire when you look at the replay. The kick out wide in front of Holland, and he hasn't let him down. Good strong mark by Ben Holland. 84 plays 68, 16-point advantage. That was White on David Burke. Holland ignoring the leads. He's too far out to score, one would suggest. The player on the mark is 50 metres from goal, but Ben Holland with nothing beckoning up forward.
A lot of tools in the goal square now.
He's going in that direction. Lovely long kick, but it has scored a behind for Richmond. Matthew Knight's looking inquisitively at the goal umpire. Taking control. Bradley to kick in, goes to the right back pocket. Hickmott has taken the mark.
Around his body. He's weighted the kick. Rice actually weighted it too heavily. Tivendale, great tackle, Rice. Wonderful tackle to hold him up. Kellaway comes in again. Rice gets him.
Great tackle, Bruce. Great tackle.
Did you get a good view, Dip?
Absolutely. He's just wrapped him up and put him on the ground. Well done, Ricey.
That is a textbook tackle. Locked both arms, locked the ball in, and rolled him over, took him out of the play.
And then had a second go, didn't he? Allen, Gale. Allen's had the best of it. Gale, Shepherds, Blurton, who hasn't been able to impact. He's been on the interchange for a lot. He's had a couple of chances in this quarter. Hasn't been able to get a handle on it. Boundary throw in. Oh, what a big third quarter for the Blues. They've kicked 5 goals to 2. And they've pinched a break here. Allen and Gale. Gale works to the front. Kellaway helps out. Bradley puts a tackle on. Terrific smother by Benny Gale on Andrew McKay. And again a boundary throw in. Bradley on Broderick there.
It's a great part of the play, the smother, but it's even better when a big bloke does it. When he dives full length to do that, that just shows great commitment.
Works to the front again, Gale. He's really gritting his teeth. They know they need a lift here, the Tigers. With about a minute and a half remaining in the third quarter, they need a goal to give them something to go into three-quarter time with. Ratton, good third quarter. So it's the Blues by 2.5.
Carlton have kicked 5-3 to 2-3 so far in this third quarter. Rice to Bradley, then to Camporelli. Camporelli squeezes a kick towards half forward. Burke dispossessed by Beaumont. Beaumont over the top. Hamill tackled by Gaspar. Gets the hand pass away. Franchina tough at the football underneath. Beaumont get it on quickly. He does. And Hickmott, that hand pass not all that good. Hamill still there. Lappin will kick a goal, won't he? Look at Matthew. Get the camera on Matthew. Oh, another juggling act by Matthew Lappin. He's proving to be quite a sensational player tonight. In this Carlton lineup, Matthew Lappin has now kicked 4 goals.
It really was one of those passages of play where the Blues just kept forcing the ball forward. Handball there from Franchina. Beaumont got tackled, he managed to get up, he got the handball out. Hickmott got tackled, he got the handball out. Hamill came in, Silvani tapped it on, and then finished off beautifully by Matthew Lappin, who was absolutely killing them.
Gee, what a third quarter this young fellow's had. He's kicked 3 goals in the third term, 4 all up. That was teamwork at its best. About 6 players got involved. Stephen Kernahan, Greg Williams and David Park, and they must be pretty pleased with what they're seeing here. The Blues lead by 3.5 goals, and the Tigers need one. And they haven't got much time. Camp already couldn't get through. Franchina's having a big match. Blurton, Bowden's had plenty of the footy, over 20 possessions. Then pushes forward. Campbell goes to ground with Brown, and Carlton rallying here like a very good team. They have struggled in the last 2 weeks badly against Geelong and St Kilda. But tonight, after a slow start, they've come on strongly. And for the Tigers, well, unless there's a remarkable turnaround, it's going to follow a pattern, and as we've seen too often this year. Ratton out of mid-air, not paid to Gale. Pushed forward by Rogers, good hip and shoulder, but Brown was equal to it. He's going to go, unfortunately. He's going to go. He's a bit stiff. The hip and shoulder was terrific.
Fraser's hurt. That has really hurt him.
That goes to Knights. Knights to centre half forward. Nelson, and the siren sounds. Daffy can't believe it. Brown in trouble, as Mark Doran tells us. What a big third quarter to the Blues to figure out.
Now this is a really tough holding the ball, because that must have been construed as a prior opportunity on Fraser Brown, and if that's a prior opportunity, then it's not very long.
The tackle by Callaway's not too high, John, is it, when he comes in here? And
the first decision he has to make is whether the tackle is legitimate, and I can see more of a reason for paying that as a push in the back or a high tackle than pinging Fraser Brown for holding the ball.
21-point advantage to the Blues. They were 13 points behind at quarter time and 3 points behind at half time. The first time they hit the front was when Silvani goaled in the first minute of the third quarter. But didn't they finish the Tigers off? It's not a done game yet. There's a lot of footy to be played here, and maybe there'll be another twist, because we've had plenty of those tonight. But that man there in the centre has been a star. He's had plenty of support. Sticks talks to Allen, and at three-quarter time, it's 90-69.
At this stage, I reckon that the Blues will walk over them.
Okay, Dipper, they certainly look to be on top. There's no question about that. First goal will be vital. It's either a 3-goal or a 5-goal game. A huge difference, whoever can get it. So the Blues, with White kicking it off the ground and getting it forward. Broderick, Kellaway, out wide to Dragicevic. He's had a quiet match. He's been on interchange for a bit. To Hollands, to Campbell. Campbell's neat kick's a good one. To Richardson. Well, he's half done the job, hasn't he, Jason? He probably needs to kick 3 goals in the last quarter for the Tigers to win.
Yeah, well, it looked early like he might actually dominate the game. He was very quiet in the third quarter. I mean, he does have 4 goals to his name, which isn't a bad night's work for 3 quarters of the match being played, but he must kick this. He just has to confidently kick this goal to give the Tigers hope.
Going for his 5th. It's coming back. He's got it. Well, that is just what this match and the Tigers needed. Richardson has got 5. I reckon he needs to kick another couple for them to get over the line, but they've got a sniff here.
He has. I mean, look, he led up the ground and broke back, and that's where he found the space. Not too many of the Richmond forwards have been leading up the ground, which is a little bit of a worry. But if he can kick, as you said, he probably needs to finish with 8 for the Tigers to be a hope here.
Centre bounce clearances certainly favouring the Blues so far, but on that occasion, Richmond forcing it forward. So very important, the 2 ruckmen. This time it advantages Matthew Allen. He gets a big right fist to it. Goes up towards the centre half forward area, gathered here by Burke, receiving the hand pass from Campbell, and the kick goes wide, and Richardson is marked out in front of Koutafidis. Platt providing the lead. Richardson goes in towards half forward. Knocked away from Holland by Manton. Hume. Ball spills now for Knights. Can't get away. Gets it to Sampson. Snapshot by Sampson's close. Just off to the right, through from behind. So all the scoring in the early part of the last term to the Tigers. The Carlton bench dip.
Yeah, we have Lance Whitnell, Michael Sexton, Ange Christou, a couple of names we know there, and Heath Colpert.
90 plays 76. Bradley to go back and maybe settle the Blues down in defence. Does a lot of the kicking in. This time elects to go straight down the ground. Knocked away, taken there by Ratton. Little kick by Koutafidis was important. White into the centre, running onto it is Nelson. Nelson goes down the ground in the direction of Silvani. He leads Turner underneath the ball. No good at the soccer tactic, Steve. Misses, scores a behind. 3 goals, 2 to Stephen Silvani. Turner to kick back into play for Richmond. Goes out wide. Hamill punches and then takes it. It's a mark from behind Burke. Now that's a bit undisciplined. He had the ball. He didn't have to do that. It was silly play by Aaron Hamill.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Hamill's got the ball, as you said, Robbo, and to push David Burke off like that is unnecessary. So
a free kick
as
well.
But you don't have to do it, Jason. The disciplined player just gets on with it, takes the kick. David Burke with the footy, goes out wide, and it's punched away quite straightforwardly in the finish by Ratton from Andrew Callaway, forces a boundary throw in.
Good crowd here. We should get an official attendance at some stage in this final term. Allen and Gale. Allen lays it down. Broderick, Franchina to Brown. Waited the handball to Hume. He's going to run out of room here. Doesn't look fully fit, the little fellow. And Gale again getting involved with a tackle. We saw him terrific smother in the same position and late in the third quarter. Picks himself up and to do battle again with Matthew Allen. 91-76. Rogers, Bradley, Franchina to Mackay. They held him up. Bowden got a high tackle, no free kick. Franchina good. Camporelli terrific. Nelson to Ratton. Ratton to Silvani. Got him. Big kick this one. He's going to go straight on, lean back, go and miss. He's kicked 3-3, has Sauce. So this year he has kicked 11 goals, 13.
Bit of a wasted opportunity. Really could have put the nail in the coffin there. He had a couple of players streaming into space. He just needed to hang on to it a little bit longer and pick the best option, I think.
Just to answer the Richmond goal is important for Carlton at the moment.
I think at times he's more comfortable when he plays on quickly going for goal, Silvani.
That's a sign of someone that's been missing a lot too, Bruce.
So going as hard and long as they can, the Tigers here.
Punched back by the Blues. Underneath that was Ratton. Camporelli tries to get the hand pass out. Beaumont on Daffy, back to the middle, mark taken by Allen. Must be a vote getter, Matthew Allen. Bradley receives the hand pass, gives it to Mackay. He straightens up and puts the pressure on the Richmond defence. Andrew Callaway away from Hickmott. Silvani the pressure on Callaway. Hamill tries to keep it in. Unsuccessful. Boundary throw in. Richmond bench dipper.
Yeah, Robbo, around Tippendale, Tawney, Blurton and Ottens, and certainly the breeze has certainly picked up here. Come across the ground. If it's favoured in any end, it'll be Richmond's.
Hamill to do the ruck work in front of Gaspar. Ball not clear for a repeat effort from that boundary umpire. 92 plays 76. Carlton lead by 16 points. Richmond have kicked the first goal of the last quarter after the Blues led by 21 at three-quarter time. It spills to Ratton. A high ball. Back to the front of the goals. Gaspar marks. Hume not able to contest there. And Gaspar straightforwardly marks in the goal square.
It's a relief for the Tigers. Not sure. Probably has to kick it as far as he can. Allen's in the box seat. Well, it's like he picked him out of the end, wasn't it? The ball had travelled 5 metres and Jason able to tell us that it was a bad kick because Matthew Allen was always going to mark it. He's had a good match. Goes to the pocket and Hickmott, second go, third, not paid. Ball in dispute. Hume over the top. Lappin, well, he'll probably kick a goal. He's had that sort of night. And he does. Of course he does. Felt when he woke up this morning. He's just kicked 5, hasn't he, without looking like he'd missed, and they've been from everywhere.
It's the nearest thing to radar you have ever seen in a footy player's boots. I mean, it doesn't matter where he is, which side of the ground, left or right foot, how far out he is or what angle he is. Couple of steps, bang, straight through. It's just uncanny the way he keeps knocking them through.
Big result in it, 5 goals.
Bruce, during the break you mentioned how did he wake up this morning. I think he's going to wake up tomorrow morning with a big smile on his face too, isn't he?
And a sore foot.
And he's had a big night. He's kicked 5 goals, Matthew Lappin. The game is not over. There's plenty of time left for the Tigers, but certainly it looks as though the Blues have the answers. Holland not able to take the mark. Punched away by Koutafidis back there on the last line of defence and eventually knocks it clear. Matthew Richardson beckoning there. Maybe an apology to Anthony Koutafidis as an indiscriminate hack at the footy.
Yeah, the umpire just not in a position to see this, Robbo, and so couldn't pay the free kick to Anthony Koutafidis, but just unsighted.
Boundary throw in. Daffy trying to get onto it. And that's a push out, is it, against Clay Sampson. Andrew Mackay not happy, but it looked fairly straightforward from here. And umpire Troy Burton officiating in that part of the ground.
Umpire Jason Dunstall paid that one from the commentary box too.
Yeah, a little bit tough when you're chasing a guy from behind. You have to go to every length he possibly can to try and stop him actually going forward in the tackle. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Sampson has kicked one, and that looked as though it went over the goalpost, didn't it? No, yes, it is a behind. So 1 goal 3 to Clay Sampson, and in the side for the opportunism that may have created 4 goals, but only 1 against his name from 7 kicks. Bradley goes short. His precision kicking in is quite immaculate. He finds Manton. Manton can go further outside the defensive 50, well and truly outside the defensive 50. Hamill up high, couldn't take the mark. Gasper confronted by Hume, gets the handball away. Kick forward by Rogers, and not marked there by Manton. Able to gather, then gets the handball in the direction of Nelson. Good vision and good presence of mind. Bradley receives, kicks with the left, back to the middle of the ground. Camporelli a chance to swoop onto it. Hickmott, Camporelli spills back to Ratton. He's got the football, hemmed in, couldn't get an effective hand pass away. Ball spills back now for White under pressure. Stands his ground, makes the situation a little easier there for Franchina. Left foot kick by that player, as marked by Hamill. Hamill, hand pass to Brown. Brown down the ground, good vision, found Hickmott. Looks to move it on. No, he's got to go back and take his kick. Just forward of centre wing, goes short and wide, finds Brown. Brown too far out to score. The player on the mark is about 75 metres from goal. He goes short and finds Allen. Importantly, the Blues have retained possession. The kick smothered off the boot. Important here. Rebound football maybe for the Tigers. Daffy to Gasper. Gasper's up and under. Andrew Callaway effectively to Daffy. Down the ground. Nick Daffy goes in towards the pocket. Rice gathers. Handball back to Koutafidis. Koutafidis across his left shoulder. A bit of an up and under. Back there is Nelson. Dispossessed by Knights. Spills to Campbell. Campbell into the pocket. Looks for Holland, punched away, gathered by Koutafidis, goes back in the direction of Rice, and Dean Rice, the professional he is, leaves it for the boundary umpire to throw it in. Right forward pocket for the Tigers, about 20 metres around from their goal.
Certainly wasn't the best option for Richmond, kicking it to a 2-on-1 situation in the pocket. They've got to play more direct.
Richo livered too. He wanted it in the goal square. Holland wins it to Daffy. Clever Daffy. Left foot snaps, a good one. It's going to be close. Blues touch it. It's good effort by Daffy. Slipped it in the last couple of minutes. Plenty of time. Carlton have had the answers. Next goal, you just feel if Carlton get it, it'll break Richmond. If Richmond get it, we've got a real game, haven't we? At the moment, the Blues with a handy break. Well, maybe they're going to get it here because Rogers, from an uncharacteristic mistake from Bradley and maybe some indecision from 2 Carlton players.
Well, I think
it was a beautiful kick.
Camporelli and Beaumont both looked at each other and said, "You take it." And by the time they realised neither was going to get it, it had gone straight through to Rogers.
Well, if Sampson's kick was important a couple of minutes ago, this one's doubly important. This is a must goal, and kick this and the Tigers would give themselves a chance. He's got it. They're still in it. They are still in this football game. There's just 14 points in this match. 15-8 to 12-12.
It's quite amazing that they've actually had more scoring shots than the Blues. It just shows that they have been a bit wasteful, and they just can't afford to do that in this last quarter. They're not going to get as many opportunities to win this game. If they keep kicking points, they just won't get there. They've got to make every post a winner.
We just watched the replay of Scott Camporelli and Simon Beaumont's misunderstanding, which led to Rogers kicking a goal, an important goal for the Tigers. Campbell kicks it back towards half forward. Sampson dragged to the ground by McKay.
And
as a free kick.
Yeah, McKay made sure that Sampson wouldn't be in that next contest and just slung him to the ground after the ball had been disposed
What about
of.
getting the ball back there, John?
Well,
Could that have been penalised?
That's what Sampson was screaming about, the fact the ball wasn't given back to him on the full, and Matthew Knights as well.
went absolutely berserk at the umpire.
Yeah, it's very difficult for the umpires to maintain focus on where the ball is and who's got it in that situation. He was communicating with McKay, so it's hard to be on the ball with everything.
Sampson from 50 metres gets underneath it, lobs it right to the goal line. Back there was Matthew Allen. The ball spills over for a throw-in right up against the behind post.
Just to revisit that, Robbo, umpires often do miss that, and we've all been guilty of it, where umpire runs in, tells McKay what the free kick has been paid for, loses sight of where the footy is, and misses a 50.
Dragicevic off, and Ben Holland's back onto the ground. Was Nick Daffy held high? Yes.
Gee, this could make it interesting if he kicks this.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? You have a chance to bury an opposition. The Blues have gone forward a couple of times in this last quarter. They've kicked a goal and missed a couple of chances, and now Richmond certainly sense that there's still a real chance to pinch this game.
Yep, just the right hand over the shoulder from Ratton. And another crucial kick. I mean, every shot for goal they have now is a must-kick goal.
Impressive stats there for Nick Daffy. He's worked hard, and he's going for the goal. I tell you what, that's close. He may have missed, yes. Gee, from that range, and not a very difficult angle, he's missed an important shot at goal. 13 points the margin in favour of the Blues. What will Bradley do now? Maybe indicating that he desires to go long. Certainly no short options on right at the moment. And he does go well outside his defensive 50.
Good long kick. Kuda was the flyer. White has had a quiet night, mainly on the interchange. Gets pretty good distance, but Tivendale's able to cut it off. Then back turn, then his little one along the ground doesn't go too far. Ben Holland on the up, okay, to Kellaway, to Campbell. The Tigers mounting another attack. Platt will take a run. He gives Kuda a push. Didn't fly at all, and Kuda gets a free kick.
And Platt just got caught out then. I mean, there's no doubt it's a free kick, but didn't think the umpire was in a position to see it.
Manton took the handball, and then steady as she goes. Back to halfback. Good mark by Tivendale. Tivendale has a free kick, I think, going to Burke. So same result for the Tigers. Burke will give it to Tivendale, who plays on, takes Beaumont on. He's a bit ambitious, so that's not good footy. Gee, if you were Jeff Keeshan right now, you'd say, what were you thinking of, young fellow? Beaumont's not the easiest bloke to get around because he's got a bit of toe.
He certainly has. These are just wasted opportunities. They've got a bit of the play, the Tigers, and they're not converting it into points on the scoreboard.
They've got the pressure on the Blues at the moment. McKay out wide. Hamill. Not sure if he touched it first, but he certainly was the only one that claimed it. It's between halfback and centre wing.
Called to play on.
And kicks it low and hard, which is his trademark. Rogers has got it. Bradley disappointed with the delivery. Rogers into the centre. There's an important kick to Ben Hollands. He held his ground really well, but Hume worried him out of it. Silvani's wide. Now, will he take Turner on here? No, decides not to. Goes to the pocket. Wants Hickmott. Well played at the back, though. Free kick going to the Tigers. That's to Kellaway. Andrew Kellaway against Hickmott for hanging on.
Fraser Brown off for the Blues and Culper back on.
Thanks, Dipper. So Kellaway wide.
Player on his own out here. It's Tivendale. He can run down the ground. He could have had a bounce, but he elects to kick and kicks very, very well. David Burke. Broderick running beautifully. Broderick kicks to the front of the square. Bit of a mongrel punt kick. It's been marked though. Platt has got it. He's been quiet, Platt. Coming up for just his 7th kick, his 4th mark. But more importantly, if he kicks accurately, the margin will be just 7 points.
A great opportunity to make up for an error when he gave away a free kick for pushing Koutafidis in the back only a couple of minutes ago. It wasn't a particularly good kick coming in, but he found himself in front position, stood his ground, took a strong mark, needs to finish with a goal, and this game is really hotting up if he converts here.
Just his first match for season 1999. He received 1 Brownlow medal vote in the match between these two clubs last year. And gee whiz, he can certainly cover himself in glory here. Straight through the centre. First goal for the year for Justin Platt, and an important one. The Tigers get to within 7 points.
They really have had the momentum the last 5 or 10 minutes, just when the game looked like it was over and Carlton had a winning break. They couldn't drive the final nails into the coffin, and listen to the crowd picking up. Richmond are on a roll, and this game could go either way.
Fresh Ottens is now on the ground, and we've got Bendigal off the ground.
Welcome back. The screws are tightening, aren't they? Terrific roar around the ground, and Carlton now are faced with a real challenge. Campbell, a second time to half forward. A little push on Hollands, again off the ground. They get it to half forward. Hollands handball. Daffy, still with Daffy. On his left foot, gives it all he's got. It's a beauty! Hopping. Jeez, good kick off the foot. There's one kick in it. Well, Tiger fans at home, sorry that I gave you false hope, but when he kicked that footy, it looked a goal.
It's a great kick off, 2 steps onto the left foot and kicking it 50 metres.
Kick 1-3. Daffy, just like Sampson. Bradley's doing a lot of kicking out at the moment. The Blues need the next goal all of a sudden. What a terrific match it's been all night. White finds Camporelli. Camporelli kicks wide. Whitnall's come onto the ground for Hickmott. He looks to be struggling, Whitnall, physically. He keeps it in front of Gasper. Still Gasper and Whitnall. Whitnall off the ground, clever. Almost cold, but couldn't quite. Lappin falls on top of it. Kellaway falls on top of him. Is he holding it? He is.
Yeah. Once Lappin elected to dive on the ball, Bruce, then once tackled, he had to hit it out immediately. If he elects to jump on it like that, he's red hot.
Well, that's symbolic, isn't it? A young fellow who's every touch has turned into a golden moment, makes a mistake late in the match.
Franchina gets the hand pass away. Richmond are a chance to gather the ball. No, Andrew McKay down the line. Franchina's kept it in. By gee, that was questionable. If that wasn't out, you wonder. To full forward, and Silvani from behind has taken the mark. And by gee whiz, let's go back to where Franchina was allowed the luxury of taking it over and then kicking it forward to Silvani.
I reckon he had it out of bounds for about 2 or 3 yards. He brought it back into his hip there, and that had to be out of bounds.
The boundary umpire right on the scene, but
that is frightening.
well, you always wonder, don't you, when it comes down to a close match, it's obviously the luck of the draw. Silvani's missed. 3 goals, 4 to Stephen Silvani. We spoke about the chances going begging.
And you don't think the Tiger crowd enjoyed that replay?
Maybe that's a fitting result.
I think it was because it wasn't the mark paid to Steve Silvani, it was the free kick.
Silvani's kicked 3 points in the last quarter, and they've been gettables, haven't they? Ottens, Daffy, piercing handball, but Rogers under the pump, terrific tackle, Nelson. Bradley leans back, gives it all he's got. Whitnall! That's a great mark. He couldn't get off the ground, the young fellow. He is restricted. They tell us he's got a hip injury. Official attendance tonight, 52,103. There are going to be some hoarse voices in the morning. They've really enjoyed this match.
Just judged it a bit better. Andrew Kellaway went a little bit early. And Lance Whitnall with the sure hands, sure judgment. Can he follow it with a sure kick?
That's the angle from the other end. He likes it a lot. A whole lot.
Not over though, Bruce.
No, but
Still a long way to go.
that
7
does
minutes.
help. That really gives Carlton the edge. I mean, if you're betting now, they're the favourites. But a moment ago, Richmond were probably evens.
Well, I think that odd point, the fact that it's 13 points, makes it 3 kicks, not just 2, with only 6 or 7 minutes to go. That's a crucial kick. And when you haven't had much contribution to the night, the best thing you can do is, in a pressure moment, execute one perfect kick for goal.
Still no easy breathing being done in the coach's box for the Blues. They lead by 13 points. Allen again getting first hand to it, but Tivendale back to Daffy. We've got 6.5 minutes left. The kick out wide. Confronted there, McKay, good tap on. Sets it up for Camporelli. Little kick all right to Nelson. His tackle on Rogers was a beauty to set it up before. The kick by Nelson to the goal square. Ottens goes for the safety of the line. What was that? Not deliberate. Throw it in, boundary umpire. The whole of the 50,000 fans and the fans watching on the telly looked at the umpire, but nothing happening, folks. Boundary throw in, left forward pocket for the Blues. Up high was young Ottens. Fraser Brown, he's had a quiet night, but I tell you what, he's kicked the goal of the night. Fraser Brown has resurrected his night. It's been fairly quiet, just 14 possessions. He's worked very hard. He's been bashed from pillar to post, but he's kicked the goal of the night deep into the last quarter.
That is very close to an impossible kick from that pocket to kick it around the corner on your left foot, which is going to cause the ball to go in an arc from left to right, which takes away virtually any angle of goal that you do have. That's a 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 chance. And why wouldn't you celebrate that?
First goal for the season for Brown. He's going to remember it for a long time. Well, surely they're home now, the Blues. 17-9 to 13-14. Burke gets rid of Camporelli. Ratton, Mackay. Now they've got a real sniff of it. Richmond have got to stand up here and try and erode this lead as quickly as possible. Campbell under pressure, pushes the wrong way. Hamill ridden into the ground. Play on call, desperate stuff, good stuff from both teams. Throwing themselves in. Franchina's got his arms wrapped around Knights' neck. Maybe the ball had been called up by then. It'll be a ball up.
A couple of important moves off the bench in Brown coming off the bench, and also Whitnell, of course, those two players just 2 goals. Good move then.
Simon Beaumont copped a knee to the face, and you can see the result there.
Yeah, so Beaumont coming off for the blood raw. He'll have a headache in the morning. Gee, it's coming out quickly. And yes, Tipper, both those off the bench, Whitnell and Brown, who have both been a bit hamstrung, you reckon, physically tonight, have been able to kick big, big goals.
And Christo about to come on as well for the Blues.
Oh, gee, Hamill running straight into his teammate, Beaumont. A real crunch in the end, wasn't it?
It's bad enough when you cop it from the opposition. You don't need your teammates giving it to you.
Oh,
just a little bit clumsy, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's been okay. He's looked a little awkward, Simon Beaumont, and we've been a bit critical of the way he delivers the ball by foot.